for Postgraduate Center for Postgraduate Studies, IIUM, Deputy Dean Postgraduate Studies, Kuantan Campus, Associate Professor Dr. Azlina Daud, all head of department, deans and institutes and centers, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, welcome to IIUM Postgraduate Studies Open Day 2021. My name is Shakira Hanim binti Abdul Rahman. I will be emceeing the half session of today's event. I am a PhD student from Kuliah of Economics and Management Sciences, as well as an ESCO member of IIUM Postgraduate Student Society, Gombak Campus. Welcome everyone to our session today. Now, basically, just a brief introduction about today's event. Our open day for today's for IIUM Open Day today is that we are having two sessions. We have morning session, a brief and as well as a sharing session with our academics, our postgraduate members, as well as we will bring in one of our alumni actually will be joining us this morning. And we are having a parallel session in the afternoon with heads and dean for as well as deputy deans of 14 kuliah, 6 centers and institute to basically brief you on postgraduate programs available in IIUM for all campuses, Gombak, Kuantan, as well as Johor campus. All right, without further ado, I would like to, for our opening session of Postgraduate Open Day today, I would like to invite Brother Halil Ibrahim Dagli, one of our Imam in Sultan Haji Ahmad Shah Mosque, Gombak, for a recitation of Dua. Please welcome Brother Halil.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. ربنا يا ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. اللهم زينا بزينة القرآن وأكرمنا بكرامة القرآن وشرفنا بشرافة القرآن وأدخلنا الجنة بشفاعة القرآن. O Allah, on this blessed day, in conjunction with IIUM Postgraduate Open Day 2022, we are grateful towards you in favor of all infinite blessings upon us. We express our gratitude upon your greatest gifts and bounties, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, Ya Rabbal Alameen. O Allah, provide us the means to achieve a successful conclusion from our gathering today. Channel our thoughts clearly and allow us to communicate effectively. Make us responsible and intellectual upon the knowledge we study. O Allah, bestow us physical and spiritual health, peace of mind, strength of spirit. O Allah, make us among those who are praised by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, those who are on the way of education journey. O Allah, grant us valuable knowledge that we will follow your commandments and neglect sinful acts in order to gain mardatillah ya Rabbal Alameen. O Allah, we seek knowledge, tawfiq and hidayah to represent our university in a well-mannered, in an Islamic religious way, Ya Rabbal Alameen. اللهم بارك لنا في هذا البرنامج من فضلك يا رحمن يا رحيم. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين وجعلنا للمتقين إماما. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا اغفر لنا ولوالدينا وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب. وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Thank you, Brother Halil, for the beautiful doa for today's event. Okay, now next will be the opening session by our Dean of Center for Postgraduate Studies, Professor Dr. Ida Madiha Abdul Ghani Azmi. But before I pass the mic to Prof. Ida, I would like to introduce a bit about Prof. Ida. She is one of the prominent professor in Ahmad Ibrahim Kuliah of Law, and her specialization area is intellectual property. So brothers and sisters, if you intend to do a specialization area in that in intellectual property area, she's Prof. Ida. She's one of the best. All right. So I would like to pass the mic to Prof. Ida. Please welcome Prof. Ida.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm trying to look for students because I see quite a few students in this session, probably because it's so early in the morning. So I might as well not give such a long speech because nobody's listening to me. I might as well address these welcoming remarks to my team. I want to congratulate them for having this PG open day, and I hope that we will have this continuous discussion on on how to promote students to come into our program, because UIA itself has quite a wide range of PG programs, and they are very beneficial and useful for the students if only they knew about it. And that's the reason why we have this PG open day, is actually to address the final year, final semester students, wanting to convince them to stay on and continue with their PG program so as to enrich their knowledge and make them more valuable in the eyes of the employers and when they're going out to find a job in the job market. Now, what I want to stress is that life is an opportunity in itself, and it is full of countless opportunities that are always open to men. And for those who have been given the conditional offer, please take the opportunity, please seize the opportunity and join our PG programs, because if you take up that opportunity, it will open up to more opportunities in the future. You must take advantage of the conditional offer, just like the saying, you have to take advantage of 5 things, your youth before your old age, your health before your sickness, your wealth before your poverty, your free time before you're being busy, your life before your death. And for those who are just at the brink of graduating, you might not be sure of what you want to do after your graduation. So seize this opportunity to continue your studies while at the same time looking for other job opportunities. And this PG program will not going to stop you from looking for other job opportunities, because most of these PG classes are after 5, so you're free to do other things at the same time, enhancing your knowledge through your PG programs. And with that, I don't want to say much, because like I mentioned just now, I'm wondering whether there are students here in this session. I pass the session to the organizing committee. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Ida, for the welcoming remark. Actually, we are live on FB and YouTube, so most of them Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm back again. I'm sorry for the internet connection issue here at my place. All right. So now, without further ado, I would like to invite our next speakers on our sharing session for today's event. Is that there will be a sharing session from Associate Professor Dr. Azlina Daud, as well as Assistant Professor Dr. Siti Illiani Jaafar, with the title of "Are you ready to be a PD student? Time management and managing your emotions during PD journey." Okay. And basically, just for your information, Associate Professor Dr. Azlina is Deputy Dean Center for Postgraduate Studies, Kuantan Campus.
Bitch, shut the fuck up.
Dr. Siti Illiani will be, she is currently serving Kuliah of Nursing Kuantan Campus. So what I would like to do today is that Dr. Azlina will be having a sharing session for 30 minutes, and then
I don't care. Eat my butthole.
and then I will be opening a Q&A session for everyone. If you have any questions to ask regarding postgraduate journey, so I would like to pass the mic to Dr. Azlina. Please welcome Dr. Azlina.
Thank you so much, Sister Shakira, for a brief introductions of me. So shall I share my slide? Anyone can see my slide?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So first of all, respective deans of Center for Postgraduate Studies, Prof. Ida Madiha, all deputy deans, supervisors, the postgraduate students, the seniors, the new registered, and also who are our undergraduate students who receive the conditional offer letter. So you are very welcome to join our postgraduate program. So here I would like to share about the tips on the time management, and Dr. Illiani will continue after me. Okay, so the time management, we will start with the set the timetable. I will give you a few tips on the time management. Hopefully that this tip will help you in doing your research or during your postgraduate studies. So as we know, as a postgraduate studies is more challenging as compared to undergraduate studies because you have a lot of commitment. I do believe because of I also have the same experience because of you are not only students, you are a father, you are a mother, you are taking care of your children, and at the same time you are doing your postgraduate studies. It's a lot of commitment, but with the time management, I believe all of you will successfully finish your study and achieve your target, especially to graduate on time. Okay, the first tip I would like to share with you, this is about is make your own timetable. Why I've said the own timetable, you can for the postgraduate, especially those who are doing fully by research. I'm not saying that only the fully by research will have to have a make a timetable. No, it same goes to the mixed mode, also by coursework. You have to make your own timetable to make sure that you are on track and you will finish your study in the time given. So here the tips that I give it to you, why we have to make your own timetable, especially those who are doing research, because you have to set you have to have your schedule in a day, what you are going to do in a day. So you have to set this timetable. It might be different between your stages. It could be we can make it like stage 1 for preparing your proposal, stage 2 while you are doing your data collections, and stage 3 where you want to write up your thesis. So here I give you the tips on the timetable. As my experience, I also have my own timetable in early of my study and put a paste on the wall so you know what you have to do in a day. Okay, because it's a lot of things you want to do, but you have a lot of tasks to make sure that, and you have to meet a lot of deadline. So with this timetable, it will help you to achieve your deadline and to make sure that you are on track. And this is make you focus on your study. So this is the example I give to you, but it's on you. It's a freedom for you to make your own timetable. This is about the things that example for you to think about how you are going to make your time, you manage your time. So here, let's say for the Monday, you start with your morning sessions 8 to 10 with the read of article, or maybe you can start early in the morning after subuh prayer, then you start on reading, for example. As my experience, what I did, early in the morning, I check after subuh prayer, I check all the email, especially email from the university and also email from the supervisor. What's the then you reply all the email. Then after that, that's my I give you the example of my timetable before during my PhD studies. So after that, prepare the breakfast for the kids and send them to the school. Then when I arrive at the uni, focus on read all the article. And after that, you have to make your take break for 15 minutes, or you can have a 30 minutes break. Then after that, you can continue with other things, other tasks. So that's an example. It's on you, but
Dr. Azlina, sorry, Dr. Azlina, sorry to interrupt. Do you mind sharing your slide on a slide mode? Because currently we are seeing your PowerPoint slides.
All right, sure, sister. Okay.
It's a bit smaller for our friends on YouTube and Facebook page.
So now, is that okay?
Belum lagi, Doktor.
Okay. Okay.
Slide show.
I'm already on the slide share. Yeah.
We are still seeing your PowerPoint presentation. It's not a slide share yet. It's a slide.
Then I share again.
Sure, boleh, Doktor.
Okay. Wait a new share. So is that okay?
I hope tech team, could you please assist on this?
Because it's now for my part is on the slide share.
Yeah, but we still see PowerPoint, Doctor, from here, from the viewers view.
All right. So mana Jihan?
Dr. Azlina.
Tekan dah slide share. Tapi dia tak nampak.
Oh, Brother Ihsan is here to help. Brother Ihsan.
Hello.
Yeah, Brother Ihsan.
Dr. Azlina boleh apa? Stop sharing the screen and then share semula.
Okay. Alright.
Share the whole screen. Better.
Alright. So I share again. And let's share screen. Share then.
Okay, we can see now.
Okay, great, Doctor. So sorry to interrupt.
That's okay. All right. Okay, I will continue on the sharing tips on the timetable. So this is the example of the timetable that you can make for your own. So this one is on you, it's freedom for you to create your own timetable, but you have to. If you do not have this timetable, so meaning that a day without nothing, you have no target to do on that day. So it's afraid that no productions, meaning the productive is not happen during that day. So please make sure that you have this your own, you have to make your own timetable. This is the first thing I shared with my students. I shared this every time. You have to make this before you begin. Then after that, once you move to the next stage of the data collections, you will change your content of your timetable. Okay, we move to the tips number 2 here. The second importance of the tips here is about to-do listings. To-do list is much important. Until now, I am also using the to-do listing. Comes in the morning, make the list, and then end of the in the evening, end of the work, you tick what you have done. And after that, at least you can achieve your deadline. So this is the most important things. What I shared with you, I shared with my students as well. If they have this, every supervision meeting, they have to bring your to-do listings. They have to update what they have done, what in the progress, and what have to do next. So once done, they put it done and the date. And this part of the to-do listing, I advise the student to put in the logbook. If you do have the logbook as you have a meeting with your supervisors, or now you are using iMonitor, create these to-do listings in your iMonitor, so you can just tick the things that you have done, the things that you are in progress, or the things that you have to do, due to do. Okay, so this is very important. If you do not have this, it's like your work is not really scheduled. So you have to make sure that you have your target, especially if you have a deadline. Example here, if you submit your work to your supervisor, as my experience, I have weekly meeting with my supervisor. So every Friday, I have to submit my work to my supervisor, and I will receive their comment on Monday, and we will do a meeting every Tuesday morning. So during the weekend, the supervisor have to check my work, and they submit their comment on Monday. So that's the things I have to put in my to-do listing. Monday, checking on the comments from the supervisor and see what you can understand their comment. And during the meeting, it's very scheduled, just 1 hour. I have to make sure that I understand their comments and I know what to do next based on the comments given to me. So that's very good for me. I've shared also with my students. I use the same mechanism with my students, and what I can see is very useful and really help the students to keep on track and they finish their study on time, inshallah. Okay, so why here you have to have, as I mentioned, a daily list, prioritize your work, which one have to go first, which one have to come second, third, and next. Okay. It's a good place to start is to get an overview of the deadlines. Maybe in your to-do listing, you put on the deadlines. It can carry out and until its end. It could be a week, it could be a month, it could be more than 2 months. It depends on you, but it's still on your list, so you know your deadline. So divide your work, which one is urgent, which one is non-urgent, so prioritize it. It doesn't matter number 1, number 2, number 3 in the list, but you have your own time, your own deadline putting on your to-do listings. So this is a very good, even me as now also, I make my own to-do listing. Come in the morning, write up all the to-do listing, and end of the work, you just tick which one that you have done and then carry forward the things that not yet done. Okay, so we move to the tips number 3. I know you are tired. I know you have having a lot of things in a week, or in a week you have a lot of schedule, or you have a lot of tasks, or you have a lot of deadline to meet. So you have to make sure that you have a downtime. You put as if you like to have a sessions or exercise, jogging, cycling, or anything. You can make put in your timetable a day about 15 to 30 minutes for the evening sessions, or you can do during your weekend. So put in your timetable. It's a good for you to have this, not only focusing on your study. All right. So to make sure that you stay active, not only stress. So you have to ventilate it. You by doing the activity. Okay, so I move to the next tip on build up a strong peer network. Why I have to do this? Why? Because of you cannot keep by yourself. You have to have someone to share, or a group of your friends, especially the PGSS, the Postgraduate Student Society. So from here, you share your problems, you share your knowledge, or you share anything with your colleagues or with your friends. Why I have to say that? Because of you have to ventilate. You cannot keep keep it on yourself, please. If you keep this yourself, then one day it will burst, and then it will turn to a very I'm not saying that it's hard for you, so it's hard for you to manage, because of a lot of problems that you have, and you have a lot of deadline to meet, and you have to have, and also you have a lot of work to do. So with the pressure with your supervisor, the pressure with the classes that you have to attend, and a lot of things come in that time. So to make sure that you are on track and you are free from stress or depressed situation, so please build up a strong peer network. It could be your friends from your own faculty, or it could come from other faculty as well. You can have this, share your problems, share your knowledge, or you have a time for you to get along, go to have a cup of coffee with them, talk to them. And sometimes you think that is very unusual, but this is the things to help you to keep going with your study. Sometimes the relaxation session also it will help you take a deep breath. Like say 3 hours you are focusing on your work, then you have a deep breath, stand up, take about 10 to 15 minutes for you to release everything in your mind, then come back to start your work. All right. Okay, we move to the tips number 5 here. Speak to your supervisor. Don't missing in actions. Don't just keep quiet. You have to. Anything you share, or you have to speak to your supervisor. It's hard for the supervisor to chase you if you are missing in action. It's very, very hard. We understand your commitment, we understand your problems, but you have to share. We don't know, as a supervisor, we don't know what's your problems. We don't know what happened to you if you don't share with us anything about it. It could be your personal things. For example, you have problems with your kids who, unwell, or anything about your personal, and you with your share with your supervisor. It could be you can get permissions to, can I have a break for 1 week, for example. So you focus on to settle your problems, and after that you come back and continue with your study. I know it's hard if you put aside your study for you to start it back, followed back your timetable. Is a bit hard, but at the beginning only. But after that, when you are on track, when you are make your routine, so it will much easier for you. Okay, so it's very important because of your supervisor is there for you to have. Please come and then discuss. I'm not saying that not only for the things for the study, it could be your personal matter. So we can understand what's your problems. It could be informal things. You can meet with your supervisor anywhere, not only at the uni, or maybe you can have a break at the at the cafe, or at any restaurants, or at a park. So sit down and discuss what your supervisor can help you. Okay. Okay, we move to the next on the tips of time management. Why you have to manage your time. This is the things. When you do your work, you have to reward if you achieve something. As my experience, the reward I'll always, if I receive a good response, a good comment from my supervisor, then I reward myself. It could be you buy just a cup of coffee with one slice of cake, or you can, okay, today I set my target on Monday. If I receive a good comment from my supervisor, I will back home early and cook for my kids. So that's the things. You can create any things that you happy with that. It seems it's to reward yourself on for that day. Okay, or you have a long period of something to settle about your problems, or about your for example, a data collection phase. It might take maybe 1 year to finish your data collection, so you set the long-term period of reward there. So if you set that once I finish my data collection phase, I will have this anything. It could be anything. That's your set the rewards of yourself. Okay, so no doubt that celebrations are fun. Yes, it's fun, but big or small is on you. You have to positive, and you have to work for that. That's why you set that reward. So you work very hard to achieve your target, and you reward yourself. Okay, it could be monetary, it could be any activity, or it could be time based. It's on you. Okay. So next, on the tips number 7 here, set a time limit to complete a task. You have to set, because it's your own. If you are by coursework, you have to finish this by this. So you have an assignment to submit, you have a classes to attend. But if you by research, so you have to set your own limit, the time limit. Let's say you have to submit your work by Friday. So by Thursday, you have nearly finished or nearly done your work. Then on Friday, you just submit your work to your supervisor. So that's the that's the example I give to you. So why you have to set a limit? Because of the time constraint for completing tasks help you to be more focused and efficient. If you're not, like, it make you work on the last minute if you not set the time limit. Okay, making the small extra effort to decide on how much you need to allot for each task that can also help you recognize potential problem before they arise. So if you have this, for the next, you already know, I cannot do this I cannot do this in the 2 days because there's a lot of things to do, because the previous shows that this is a problem faced once doing this. Okay, you know already, so you can set the time. Okay, the way that you can make plans for dealing with them. And then example to give you here, assume you need to write up 5 review in time for a meeting. So however, you realize that you will only be able to get 4 of them done in the time remaining before the meeting, because of it's a lot of things. You're not only because you have reviewed the paper, you have to accept the data, and then you have to critique the paper. So if you become aware of this fact well in advance, you may be able to easily delegate writing up on the reviews to someone else, or you can make with your peers. Okay, can one of you do one? So you after that you gather everything, then you can achieve your target within the time given. Okay, that's example I give to you, but it's on you to set this time, because of already you have to manage your time very, very wisely. Okay. The second last tips here, eliminate distractions. I know with the gadgets now, with all the social media, with the TikToks and everything, with the Facebook, Instagram and a lot of things now. So you have to make sure that you avoid during the timetable that you have set early. The tips number 1. Okay, so my experience, what I did. So once from 8 to after I send my kids to the school, comes to the uni, sit on my chair at the workstations. That times I off everything. Just focus on my work, and I will on my phone. I will check on the email after that. Okay, so the time only a day from 8 to 2:30 because of 3 p.m. I have to fetch my kids. So from 2 to 2:30 I have to start drive from the uni to the kids school. So that's the time only about 5 to 6 hours. That's for me to focus on my work. So that's why I set the daily reward for myself. If I can achieve the prioritized to-do listing, then I reward myself, pick up the kids, and after that, oh, maybe we can go to the mall, buy some things that you wanted to buy, then come back home, and then cook with the kids. So that's my experience on this. So you might have other things. So that time, 5 to 6 hours, no phone, no everything. Focus on the work. This one is very distraction because of the phone. The notifications comes. You will trigger you to check on your message. So that's why. So here, just to give you the example, leave your phone in a different room and create a specific location. You can, but if you don't want to live in other room, you can just turn off your phone, then keep in your drawer or in your bag, for example, and focus to your work. So a very productive way to start your day is to spend the first hour of it phone free. Just doing the tasks you want to get done and uninterrupt and entirely focus. So that's I think. This during my 4 years of my PhD studies, this is very, very good. It is very workable, and then you have to make sure that how to focus it, because of this phone is very challenging for me too. Once you can avoid this, you can make it as a routine, then here we go. You can do it. All right. The last tip: follow your plan. You have to feel guilty if you are not follow your plan. Okay, so plan your day to achieve your goal and keep your plans. You have to make sure that I have to achieve this. Okay, so why you have to follow your plan? So have the ability to say no. If your friend comes, when we have a cup of coffee, you know, right? If your cup of coffee not takes 30 minutes, it could take 1 hour or more than 1 hour. So focus on the goal that you have set and remember your top priorities. And you have to overcome the procrastinations, please. All right, this is a hurdle you need to overcome. All right, stick to your schedule and keep your stress level to a minimum by starting early and avoiding a hectic. So make sure early in the morning you have a good mood. Please make sure that clear mind. If you have something, have very minimal problems, take it. Okay, I will settle after this. Take a deep breath and then continue with your timetable. Continue with your work. Then I will settle after that. All right. You should always remember your top priorities and the goal you want to achieve later in life. So please, you have to very strict to your plan. Stick to your plan so you more focus. Okay, to follow your plan strictly is even more difficult than planning itself. Yes, you can plan 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or can be 10, but to follow to achieve that is much difficult. But if you set this strict. You have to do that. Yes, you can do that. I believe all of you can do that. All right. So that's my last tip. I've shared with you 9 tips on the time management. Why time management is the key, although it seems hectic. As long as you manage your time properly, you can get everything done, inshallah. Okay. So another words here: the lost time is never found. Okay. The same goes for our daily prayer. If you miss the Zuhur prayer today, you will meet the next day Zuhur prayer. No Zuhur prayer for today already. Okay, so that's the this is from Benjamin Franklin. So the next words I shared with you here. Stop wasting time and start saving it. Save your time. Have to have your own timetable. You have your to-do listings and follow your plan strictly. Okay, so I think that's all from me. The tips I shared with you. Thank you so much. And then I pass to Sister Shakira. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Azlina, for the wonderful sharing. Now, one of the key points that I want to quote from Dr. Azlina's sharing is that plan. So it's about time for us to have a shopping day today. We can go to a stationery shop or bookshop and get a nice, beautiful planner for our PhD journey or master postgraduate journeys. All right. And the next sharing session with the same topic is from Dr. Siti Illiani, Assistant Professor Dr. Siti Illiani binti Jaafar. She is currently serving Kuliah of Nursing, Kuantan campus. All right, just a little bit information about Kuliah of Nursing. Currently, just a glance. Currently, Kuliah of Nursing is offering 3 master's program and 2 program on doctor philosophy program, PhD program. 3 of master's program is Master of Advanced Nursing Practice, Master of Nursing Science, Master of Health Sciences, Doctor Philosophy in Nursing, as well as Doctor of Philosophy. So my nurses, friends and family, if you like to pursue your studies on postgraduate in nursing, let's look out for Dr. Azlina and Dr. Siti Illiani. So I would like to pass the mic to Dr. Illiani for her next sharing. Over to you, Dr.
All right, thank you so much, Madam Ms. Chairperson, Sister Shakira. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning, everyone. So I hope all of you are still alive and keep together with us. All right, so first of all, respective Dean of the PG student, Prof. Ida Madiha, for all lecturers, PG student and future PG student. Okay, so welcome to the PG Open Day today. So I am Dr. Siti Illiani binti Jaafar. Today I would like to share my experience focus on the emotional during my PG journey. Okay, I share my screen first. Okay, please bear with me. So first of all, can you hear my voice clearly, everyone?
Yeah, loud and clear, Doctor.
All right, that's good. Thank you so much for the response. So, managing your emotion during postgraduate journey. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So, actually, basically, all right. So, emotion is very during the PG student is varies. Okay, sometimes you will look down, sometimes you feel happy, sometimes you feel very excited, very passionate, sometimes you're very feel depressed. So I would like to share about my PG journey. So, but before I share, I would like to briefly give my ta'aruf. My postgraduate journey I want to share. Okay, so I want to share when I'm starting my tertiary education. Okay, I'm getting diploma in nursing at University of Jemara. Then after 3 years, okay, I'm working as a registered nurse for 5 years at one of the private hospital. So after 5 years, I think that I want to embark to the Bachelor of Nursing. Okay, so I enrolled as a student as Bachelor of Nursing at University of Jemara. Then after 2.5 years, I have been offered to work as a tenaga pengajar muda at UITM, University of Jemara. Tenaga pengajar muda, something like this This is a contract basis lecturer. Okay, means that during the 3 years of the contract, I need to further my study to the master, degree. But however, okay, I'm unable to do that. Okay, so and at the same time, I married and have 2 kids already. Then after that, my my head of department during that time suggested to me to pursue the study to the master degree. So then after I have a discuss with my husband and family, so they agreed. Then I embarked to Master of Nursing Science at University of Malaya. Then after about 2 years, as a coursework, I enrolled as master student as a coursework at University of Malaya. So after 2 years, I have working as a research assistant and also at the same time as a private nurse. So as a nurse, okay, you need to maintain your skills, right? And but then that's why I still I still working as a private nurse. Okay, then about 1 year, then that time I'm working as recently as a contract, and at the time my age is 30, I think 32 already, and I'm not stabilized. Okay, so do you think that during my time, during my age, 32 years old, have families, but I still contract basis. Okay, so I think it's not enough. Okay, I not achieve my target. So I need to say something that can stabilize my life. Okay, that after that, I think, okay, I need to pursue my study, because after you enroll as master, okay, you need to think higher than that. Okay, so because after you complete the master, you have opportunity to pursue your study. So after that, after I think I did the solat hajat, then after that, then Allah have been given the sign, you need to further your study. Right. So after that, Alhamdulillah, IIUM have offered to me as an academic trainee. Okay, academic trainee means that the IIUM and Minister of Higher Education given the scholarship to me to pursue the study. Then after that, I will enroll as a lecturer at permanent basis. So I think I have to grab this opportunity. All right. So after that, I embarked as a doctor's of police office student in nursing at International Islamic Studies. And then after that, Alhamdulillah, about 4.5 years, okay, under supervised by Assistant Professor Dr. Azlina Daud, I become a lecturer. Thank you so much, Dr. Azlina Daud, for your supervision and also the team. Then currently, I'm working as a nursing lecturer at Kuliah of Nursing. Alhamdulillah. So why I shared all of these things? So maybe during my first stage of the teacher education, you can think there are so many emotional challenges that have been faced during this time. Okay, because you can see I have different roles, I have work commitment, I have so many things that I need to face, and then this is all that related to my emotional challenges. Right now, we pursue to the next slide. Okay, so now living as a postgraduate student, so initially I want to claim that, okay, every student, everyone have their own emotional challenges. Okay, to me, okay, same like me. Okay, living as postgraduate student. Postgraduate student means that master and PhD. During my master, I'm embarked at the University of Malaya as a coursework. Master in coursework means that you have a class. You have been talk about, you have a theory class and also your final exam. But however, when you embark to the PhD by research, okay, the mode of the study is different, and also the emotional challenges is different. Okay, so but in this sharing session, I would like to share my my challenges or emotion during PhD journey, PhD study. Okay, so living as a postgraduate student. Okay, when you are named as a postgraduate student. Okay, so this there are so many experience that you will face as a postgraduate student. This is some of the mine that I want to share. Postgraduate training and research work. Okay, when you embark as a postgraduate student, okay, you need to you need to enroll as so many training, okay, especially if you for example, if you enroll as a master student by research, okay, means that you have no basic, you just only have a basic during your undergrad student, okay, but when you embark to the master study, you need to dig it out, all the theories, all the basic concept that you have been taught during the undergrad student, okay. So for example, this one during my because my master have a coursework, so I think I don't have any big problem during the process of the study during my PhD study. Okay, for example, as you can see here, the pictures critical appraisal is one of the critical appraisal is one of the skills that you need when you are reviewing a article. Okay, yes, I have been taught during my coursework, during my master, but however, during a PhD, okay, I can practice all of the theory to my PhD. But the challenges is you can think if the challenges of teaching, the challenges of this skill is different if you are embark as a master in research, because you need to learn by the starting point. Okay, so and then also when you are leaving a postgraduate student, you need to share some finding about your research work. Okay, then you need to be a presenter for some conference. Okay, this is the good opportunity for you to grab when you are leaving as a postgraduate student, because it will be you a confident level. Okay, of course, what is my emotional challenges? Okay, honestly, I am one of the very anxious people, but not anxious. I don't have any anxious disorder, but I have anxious. Okay, when my supervisor said, okay, Illiani, you need to present in this conference. Kata, okay, doctor, when I start anxious. Okay, what kind of the conference, where, place more? This is emotional challenges for me, because I'm very anxious. And also one more thing is at the time is about the financial. There's another challenges lah for me. Okay, so how I cope that one? Okay, so I have the supervisory committee. Okay, so I discuss with the committee. Okay, I need to present this work to that conference. So I will prepare the presentation slide. So can you please check my presentation? Then after the check, so I will something like a confident. Okay, what I want to present is correct. Okay, this is my how I overcome with my anxious. Okay. And also, okay, for example, if you don't have the skill, okay, for example, the skill, so don't worry. The university have offered some workshop, of course, for you to enroll. Okay, for example, in IIUM we have during my time, IIUM have a student smart learning and research training unit, SMART, during that time. So the SMART unit will organize some workshop that think that is useful for the postgraduate student. Okay, with the minimal fee 10 ringgit, you will enroll. It's just for you. It's up to you whether you want to enroll or not. Okay, this is one of the support given by the university. Okay. All right, now managing relationship with supervisors. Okay, I think many of you have heard married with your supervisor. Okay, married means you need to know about your supervisor, how their skills, how their time management, all those things. Yeah. So I think based on the Dr. Azlina's time management, you know how I work with her, yeah, and also the team. Okay, you need to have a good relationship with supervisor. Okay, because you need to remember that you will you will supervise by by her. Okay, you will by her or him, by your supervisor and your team. So you want and then you will, anything that you have problem, you can ventilate to her. Okay, you can ventilate to her, and also by having a good supervisor, okay, you will that she or he will ensure that you keep in track and be able to finish on the time. Okay, please remember your supervisor also have the same experience that will be gone through by you. Okay, all right, so they know once they see your face, okay, they know yes, my student is having a problem. Okay, so just I want to share, okay, during my meeting with my supervisory team, one of my supervisory team is a psychiatrist. Okay, during that time, I'm so something like the depressed. I'm depressed because I cannot find my gap of knowledge about 1 year. I cannot find any gap in my for my study. I don't know how to do. So during the supervisory committee, I wearing a black shirt, black trousers, and also the black scarf. And during the session, during the meeting in the meeting room, and then the my supervisor, the secretary said, Illiani, okay, please, if you have any problem, okay, please say with us, please ventilate to us. Okay, I know you are in stress and depressed now because you are wearing this one. This one. Oh, kata, yes, I have a problem, but yeah, maybe we can discuss it further during this meeting. So you cannot lie with your supervisor, the supervisory team. Okay, managing the show. Okay, so and one more thing, the good supervisors, okay, will guide you. Okay, will guide you, and also will apa, this your supervisor will not let you to do something that can lead your study plan. Yeah, okay. This is my supervisory committee, and then also this is my supervisory committee team. Okay. All right. So academic peers within the scholarly committee. Okay. So committee. So during your postgraduate journey, you need to engage with the other community. Okay. So when you are doing a attending any conference, okay, so you can build a network. And also, please remember that as a PG journey, you need to maintain your work-life balance. Okay, you cannot focus to your study only, but you need to think that you have a commitment to your family. You have a family roles as a wife, as a mother. Okay, so you need to smart to manage it. Okay, so this is all the emotional challenges for me. Okay, because maintain work-life balance. Okay, I admit that for the first year, I'm very struggle to maintain work-life balance. Okay, so because I'm very stressed during my first year because I'm struggling to find the gap of knowledge. Then at the same time, I have no stability in financial because I only get I get a scholarship from the Ministry of Education, also IIM. Then at the same time, I need to pay the rent house and also the rent house and also my car. Okay, and also at the same time, I have two small kids, and I remember that I need to collect data at the 4 hospitals. I want to share the moment from the 4 hospitals at the Malaysia. Okay, during I collecting data at the hospital Sultanah Johor Bahru. Okay, I'm alone. Okay, I'm collecting the data alone. Okay, I'm not hire any I'm not hire any enumerator, no. I'm collecting a data by doing the survey to the patient with thyroid disorder. So means that I need to engage with the hospital and also with the patient with thyroid disorder, because I want to find the level of depression among the thyroid disorder. So one of the hospital at Johor Bahru, okay, during that time, on the Tuesday, okay, Tuesday, I went to the medical clinic, okay, to find the potential participant. So on the Monday before the day, okay, I just came back from my hometown, okay, and then I met my son. During that time, okay, my son is well, okay, no fever, nothing. But on the Tuesday, when I collected the data, I already went to the Johor Bahru, right? So suddenly, and I sent my kids to the Taska, Taska. I mean something like Taska means tadika. Macam mana cakap? For the kindergarten. Okay, I sent my son to kindergarten. So on the Tuesday when I collected the data, suddenly the teacher from my son's kindergarten called me. Assalamualaikum, madam. Are you Madam Siti Illiani? Yes. Okay. Just madam, can you fetch your son because your son is fever? Huh? Fever? How can? Kata, yesterday I just met him. Kata, and he's in well condition. Kata, I don't know, but it's sudden the body is hot, the temperature is high. So please fetch him as soon as possible. So suddenly my chest is out, you know. So I'm very emotional. I don't know how can I continue to collect the data because I need another 100 samples to take to get the participant. I'm so sad. I don't know what to do. Whether I need to come back and stop come back to the home and stop the survey. So I just run in the room and calm down myself. So what do I do? So then after that, I remember my objective. Okay, my objective, I need to finish this data collection. Then after that, I can come back to my hometown. This is a sample as that have been explained by the Dr. Azlina just now, get reward, right? So I need to finish my collect data and then just go back to hometown. All right. So I have to fight with my emotion on that time. All right. Then because you will think, okay, I am a mother and I'm not able to be to work as a mother's role. Okay, emotional during postgraduate students. So I think I have already shared about my my emotional challenges. Okay, there are something not right with my well-being. Okay, when you have all the emotional challenges, you will have a psychological distress, emotional exhaustion, and burnout from extreme workloads. Okay, I believe that if you read from the doctorate support group, yeah, in the FB, okay, this is the something. This is the condition that you can found in the support group, Facebook group. Okay, so then what is consequences if you have all of this experience? Okay, it could be turned to less likely to be motivated and productive, tend to produce lower quality of work, and more likely to quit their candidacy. Okay, so but however, okay, you can overcome all of these things. Okay, you can, but don't let it too long. Okay, you need to fight with all of these things. Okay, how to overcome the emotional challenges? Okay, now, okay, I will divide to the before and during as a postgraduate student. Yeah, before you enrolling as a postgraduate student, you need to know your intention to further study, because I believe that everyone have their different intention to further study. Okay, for mine, okay, because I want to stabilize myself. I want to find the permanent job. Okay, for my life. All right. And also the nawaitu, make sure you need to remember, I want to study with lillahi ta'ala. Okay, this is the primary one. All right. And then the second one, start planning now. Okay, by choosing a graduate program. Okay, you know your challenges, you know your specialty, you know your area of interest. Okay, so you can identify what kind of the program that's suitable for me. Okay, for example, for me, I'm a nurse. I have a skill in a nurses. Okay, so I intend to further study in the nursing. Okay, it's not wrong if you want to choose another program. Okay, because you can diverse your skill and expertise. Okay, but you know your credibility, you know your what kind of your interest. Okay, if you know interest to that program, please don't enroll that your program. Okay, this is a temporary experience. Okay, because the process of enrolling is a temporary only. Okay, as a postgraduate student is a temporary only, but after you finish your PhD, you master your PhD, you not explain any challenges. Okay, as a postgraduate student, otherwise you want to embark to the postdoctoral studies, and that is another challenges. Okay, physical and mental preparedness. Okay, I think it's very important also before you enrolling as a postgraduate student. Okay, if you think that you are able to cope for any matters or for any challenges that you will that you face during the postgraduate student, yes, you can. Okay, but how do you know that what kind of the preparedness you want? You need to. So maybe you can have a coffee talk with your colleague that have been embarked to the postgraduate student, or also you can have some reading. Okay, some reading in the Facebook, for example, in the doctorate WhatsApp support group. Okay, sorry, in the doctorate support group, so you can identify what kind of the emotional challenges that you can face. Okay, as I mentioned before, every person have their different emotional challenges, right? Physical, okay, mental, and also the financial. Okay, so make sure you have sufficient, you know the sources. If you have if you have to pay some bills on those things, you know how to solve it. Okay, and for as a postgraduate student, all right, this when you are become a postgraduate student, you make yourself a priority. I think all of these things have been explained by Dr. Azlina, but I just share my experience. Make yourself a priority. Okay, how? Okay, because you need to care for your physical and mental well-being. Okay, if you feel that, okay, after you receive a comment from your supervisor, and it's the comment is very hurt to your it's very orang kata, and it's not good comment lah from your supervisor. Okay, supervisor, so you can leave it out, but please remember that if the supervisor email to you, please reply the email. Then after that, you can just download the file and keep it aside for 1 day. Okay, this is my style, 1 day. So 1 day, then after that, at the following day, you wake up early, and then you start, okay, to go through all the comment and make a correction. And if you are not not sure, you need to clarify with your supervisor. Okay, because we need to prevent any miscommunication. All right, it's tiring. And mental well-being, also you need to care for your mental well-being. Okay, yes, you will feel sad, you will feel stressed, you will be depressed, feel only, but not let it be too long. Okay, because why when is too long, okay, as I mentioned before, you will feel demotivated, and also if you let it be, you can be a depression disorders. Okay, means that it's very it was condition lah. All right. Take control of your life, prioritize your activities. Okay, by taking a point means that okay, during your PG journey, okay, you will face many occasions, okay, from your families. Okay, maybe you have you need to attend a wedding, okay, you have a family days, okay, then there are so many planned by your family, and at the same time you need to finish your task, okay, that given by your supervisor. So prioritize your activities, okay, which one is very important, okay, be smart in managing your time, okay. I think Azlina have given the good speech about this, okay, breaking your activities down into snack size portion, okay, seek out social support, okay, maybe you have the activities with your friends, hobbies, and engage with the community. Don't isolate yourself, don't ventilate, please ventilate yourself if you feel very depressed and very stressed, okay, by having a coffee talk with your friends and those things, yeah. Okay, all right, I think that's all. Okay, I want to quote. I saw this quotation in the one of the musalla at the hospital. If you fail, never give up, because FAIL means first attempt to learning, and it's not the end. In fact, END means effort never dies. If you get no as an answer, remember NO means next opportunity. So let's be positive. It's a keyword. All right. Okay. And also, okay, this is another tip for me, okay, because during my 4.5 years of PhD journey, okay, the sad story is is away from the happy story. So during my sad situation, I always remember this quotation, okay, from the Al-Quranul Karim, La tahzan inna Allah ma'ana, don't be sad, Allah is with us. Please remember that. Inshallah, because Allah is a good planner for you. Okay. All right, guys, good luck and keep your PG journey as memorable moments. Okay. So I wish you best of luck. Thank you so much. Well, that's all I give to the Mr. Person. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Illiani. Thank you so much for the sharing. Actually, what Dr. Illiani has shared just now is basically I read a written from one of the prominent professor in one of the local institutions. She said, I think this is a global mother's issue. She said her PhD is not the problem, but her problem are her children. So I think everybody are having that challenges. So being a mother, I can understand what Dr. Illiani is telling us. All right, now let's take a few questions from the floor. I would like to read one question from YouTube from Brother Muhammad Ali Mesnan. His question is, what is your opinion on part-time job as a full-time student? So Dr. Azlina or Dr. Illiani would like to answer that, and both of you can answer this.
Dr. Illiani, you maybe have something to say because you do have the experience of doing part-time job during your PhD studies. Or maybe I also can respond after this.
Okay. Actually, my PhD, during my PhD, or actually I have part-time during my my master. Actually, my master, I have been working as a private nurse. Okay, but that time I have a coursework, so I don't have because at coursework you have a timetable for your class and also the final examination, so you can schedule your part-time. Okay, I think it's not I mean I can have a part-time because I have the scheduled class and or final examination. But in my opinion, if you embark as a full-time student and at the same time you have been working as part-time, okay, I think you can, but you need to identify what kind of part-time. Make sure that your part-time is flexible to your flexible. Okay, means that as mentioned by Dr. Azlina, you need to manage your time efficiently. Okay, because Allah have given you 24 hours, so means that you can manage your time wisely, but you need to think about what kind of the part-time that you want to do. Yes, I know this is one of the way that you have to secure your financial. I think this is my opinion, Dr. Azlina.
Dr. Illiani, sorry, do you mind stop sharing your
yeah.
slide because the
Yeah.
viewers cannot see you clearly when you talk.
I'm so sorry. Thank you so much, Audoria. Money. Okay, now. Thank you.
All right, brother. Thank you so much for your questions and your opinion. So apart from Dr. Illiani, so I do also have the experience doing part-time job. So during my PhD studies, what I've done is I be a research assistant to my supervisor. So at that time, yes, it's very challenging because I'm a mom of 3 kids and also there's a wife, and I also a PhD students, and at the same time I also need the financial because of I end of my study and the scholarships already end. So what the most important things is how you manage your time. So my part-time jobs during is not a daily, is a alternate day, so meaning that 3 days per week. So I have to finish, I set my goal, I have to finish my work during the times that I'm not do as my RA, research assistant. So I set this the goal so that during about 3 months I've been a research assistant. It's successfully done, and then I still on track of my writing up, so I can submit my thesis with my target. So that's the things. You have to set your goals. You have to manage your time wisely. You can do it. You can do it. You can because of I know if you are not doing a part-time job, maybe you have a financial problem. So yes, you can. The most important things, you manage your time wisely. That's all from me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Azlina and Dr. Illiani. Any other questions from the viewers? You can raise your hand and then unmute and ask directly. Any question? While waiting for the questions from our viewers, I just want to ask one question, Dr. Azlina and Dr. Illiani. Now, Malaysian, we know that we have extended family. Every festival, there will be kenduri lah, wedding, and then Chinese New Year, we go back for wedding, and then Raya, we go back for Raya and wedding. Another Raya Haji also the same thing. Christmas also, we went back for wedding and so. How do you manage those, doctors?
Okay, you have to make sure that not put 100% leave because you are on study leave, for example, not putting 100% on a leave. You have to 100% or maybe 80% on the study and 20% on your leave. So that's study leave. If your definition study leave, if you can enjoy your study leave, you don't have any commitment at all, you just study. So please don't put like that. Please make sure that the leave you have to set. Okay, I know it's hard time. You have family as a wife, for example, is about the wedding of the husband's side, and also the moms are asking to go back to your hometown. So you have to set. Let's say as a routine, you go back every 3 months or every 2 months or monthly. So you set your target before you go back to your hometown. You done at least 20 or 50%. So you set the target. You make sure that if not, then the leave you throw out your study leave. It's very hard for you. It's very hard for the husband if you are the wife to understand on you are now a postgraduate students and on study leave. It's very hard, but only at the beginning, and after that when they understand it, what I experienced, the husband already understand, but you have to have your time with your family. You need to create your time with your family. So, but you have to set. Let's say you want to go for holidays, whether it's local or whether it's overseas, it's on you, but you have to set. okay, at the end of the year, I have to make sure that I finish 5 chapters or finish 4 chapters, then I can go for leave. I can go for holidays, for example. Bring your kids, bring everything, your family, your mom or your dad. So you can, but you have to manage your time. So that's my tips given to all, because I've also when you are doing PhD in overseas, for example, you also want to go for holidays to see other part of that country. So you can go, you can set your time, but you have to set the goal of your study first, then you can go for the holiday. So that's the tips I give to you, or maybe Dr. Illiani have something to say.
Actually, I agree with you. Okay, Dr. Nana, and I have learned from you. Actually, thank you so much. Yes, you need then what have been explained by Dr. Azlina apa as I practice till now. Okay, so means that something that you need to reward yourself as mentioned. Okay, by maybe by attending the kenduri and holiday with your family. So but make sure you have completed your task, right? So and then what tadi yeah, I think that's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Azlina and Dr. Illiani. Just a gentle reminder to all viewers, could you please sign in your attendance on the link given by our tech team, and at the same time, they also requires you to fill in the feedback form. It's on the chat box as well as on the live chat on YouTube channel. Okay. Now I have I'm also waiting and one more question before we end this session. I mean this sharing session. I saw one question from Johaira. I'm not sure if Johaira is a he or a she. I'm so sorry, Johaira. Can international students take part-time job? Okay, now as per my understanding, there are some regulations stated in the student visa about part-time job for international students. You can only do part-time job um, with a limited numbers of hours per week, if I'm not mistaken. That one you need to refer back to the student visa requirements. Okay, Johaira, any more question? I'm taking one more question. One more question before we end the session. The next session will be with our with Dr. Hurriyah. Calling once. Let me see if there is any question on YouTube. No question on YouTube. Any question? No question. Loud and clear. So, Dr. Illiani and Dr. Azlina, if the participants or the viewers requires a soft copy of your presentation slide, especially Dr. Azlina, would it be possible if they request the slide from you, your beautiful slide?
Possible, sister. We'll share where I have to put in the chat box, or yeah.
Our tech team will get in touch with you, Doctor.
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. With that, no more question. With that, thank you so much, Dr. Azlina, Daud, and Dr. Siti Illiani, Jaafar, for a wonderful sharing session. So be prepared, everyone, if you want to embark to postgraduate journey. And the key point is plan your journey. All right. So before we go to the next session, let's have a 5 minutes break before we start another session with Dr. Hurriyah. With that, thank you so much, Dr. Azlina and Dr. Siti Illiani. We'll be seeing you soon in another session. And let's take a 5-minute break. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum.
Salam. Thank you very much.
Assalamualaikum, Dr. Hurriyah.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay. Okay, we are about to start in 2 minutes, insyaAllah. How are you, Doctor? Are you currently in Jakarta?
Betul, I'm at Jakarta at the moment. I'm fine, thank you for asking.
Sorry, Doctor?
I'm fine, thank you for asking. I hope you are fine too.
Alhamdulillah, we are doing fine here. It's a bit cloudy with a little rain in Gombak because I'm living nearby IIUM campus.
Masya Allah, Masya Allah. Is that Prof Ida?
Yes, Prof Ida is here with us.
She looks,
Yes,
look
Dr. Hurriyah, it's a
younger.
pleasure to have you.
Masya Allah, Prof, lama tak jumpa. You look younger.
Itulah, you
Prof.
must come.
Masya Allah.
You must come personally. I know your son is here, but I hope to meet you as well.
Inshallah, Masya Allah, Prof, you look younger, Prof.
Alhamdulillah, coming from you, Alhamdulillah.
Masya Allah, Masya Allah.
Is the session ready? Then maybe Shakira can start.
Okay, since Dr. Hurriyah is yeah, all right. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum again to all our viewers. And our second session for today is sharing session with, she is one of the prominent person or prominent lady in the sense that you should follow on LinkedIn. Right, I've been following her on LinkedIn for quite some time. An inspiring lady. Just a little bit of information about Dr. Hurriyah. She is currently an executive board member, foreign investment and international relations, an advisory board members for ElIslamy. She did her master in comparative law in the year 1999. She's basically our super senior, so we should glad this to learn a lot from her. And she is one of the best students of LLB in 1998 with law and Sharia. And recently, Dr. Hurriyah was awarded. I would like to invite Dr. Hurriyah for a sharing session, and the title of her sharing is 5 reasons to get a postgraduate degree. I pass the mic to you.
Thank you very much, Shakira. Jazakillah khair. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Innal hamdalillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruh wa na'udzu billahi min sururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina may yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa may yudlilhu fala hadiyalah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa man wala. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Amma ba'du. Before I'll start my session proper, let me first of all greet the most respected, of course, if you haven't known this already, Sister Shakira, I have my lecturers here, mashallah. Of course, Prof Ida, thank you so much, Prof, for having me here. And I could also see there is Dr. Nick. He was also my lecturer. These are the people I indebted so much during my study. I mean, like really, I wouldn't be where I am today without them. So, jazakumullah khair. There may be some others I don't actually see on the next screen, but in case there are other lecturers whom I have not greeted yet, so my utmost respect always. You knew me during my student time. I am most respectful towards lecturers, and I am like this, Prof, Doctor, as you know, throughout my life. So I'm eternally indebted to you all. Jazakumullah khair. And thank you, everyone. So actually the topic, I got the topic from Prof Ida that she would like me to speak about the 5 reasons to do postgraduate study. If I may just share my screen. Of course, there are thousands and billions reasons why you would like to do postgraduate study. It's just that, of course, it is we try to summarize it to 5 because of to make it easier for you to actually try to relate first of all, and the second actually because well, we have only about 1 hour. I assume that it may also include Q&A, and therefore we don't have much time. So if I have to actually put all those reasons into 5 main reasons, I would actually classify them into this. First, personal development. Second, career. Third, network. Fourth, job requirement. And of course, there are other reasons. With respect to personal development, what I mean by this, well, many people actually would like to do the postgraduate as the means, as the way in order to develop herself or himself. And the trigger for this, the reason for doing this, it could be due to passion, due to maybe, you know, like when you did your degree, you think there are certain areas undone, you need to actually do further research about it, or you just want to learn more and to improve your skills. So this could be the reason why you would like to develop yourself. If I may just say a little bit about myself, why I would like to why I did my postgraduate immediately after my degree. It's just that I was really thirsty for knowledge. I would like to learn more and more. I just thought like what we learned in the undergraduate was not enough. So it's very much passion, you know, really pursuing what you like to do, what areas you would like to excel in. That was my primary reason. And as you all know, I mean, despite all this, I continue doing my study, and despite the quite hectic schedule, continue doing, you know. In fact, one of my dream, which I would like to do, and who knows, maybe, you know, I will have the opportunity to do so, I would like to do my postdoc even, because, you know, it is always important for those who work, especially if you are actually, if you belong to certain industry, we must stay current in the field where we are actually in, and in certain areas, this could be a life-death kind of matter. If you are in the field of medical, for example, stay current is very important. Even for us, you know, for me, I myself in Islamic finance area, and at the same time, I'm also doing this management of Hajj here in Indonesia. Stay current would actually affect people's life. Knowing the later innovation, how the best way to do business will actually make so much difference to the business output itself, to the outcome. And when it comes to management of Hajj, of course, knowing of the Hajj fund, knowing what will be the way forward, what will be the policy, the 2030 vision of Saudi. These are the things that we need to know, that, you know, and if necessary, we need to take actually postgraduate degree to do that, because this, what you decide in your job, if it is based on current data, then you will make the right decision. But if it is not necessarily right, and it could affect not only your job, it could also affect other people's life. And the third, invest in yourself. Of course, you know, whatever penny, whatever cent you pay in education is never wasted. Whatever you learn, even from the time you were young, it all stay with you. And the more you actually use it, the more you actually will benefit from it, and you will also benefit other people. Khairun nas anfa'uhum linnas, the best of the people are the people who can benefit most to others. So by enhancing yourself, by upgrading your skill, and the best way to do this, of course, by undertaking a postgraduate study, because, you know, I looked at it as a shortcut. You can actually do everything yourself, but it will take longer. But when you do it through a postgraduate study, you have those professors, you have those lecturers who are not only keeping themselves most current with all the relevant data knowledge in the field, but they are also more than willing to share with you. So as I said, that's why I consider this as a shortcut. Imagine if you have to do it yourself, you have to go dig for the information, for the data, read thousands of books. So you see, even last time when I would like to, when I was writing about the IT law, on the cyber law, computer law, my shortcut was to go and see Prof. Ida, because she's a library herself. the immense amount of the knowledge and information and research she has already accrued throughout her life. That's something that is priceless. And if you want to do it yourself, imagine how many years she has spent, and you want to do it yourself, believe me, do under postgraduate study, that will be one of the best investment you do for yourself. So this is one of the reasons, that is you want to do personal development. And the second one, when we talk about career, what I mean here, especially for those who just graduate, the data has already shown those people who graduate with postgraduate degree, they are 18%. So the data 18% more likely, and then the number actually 18% more compared to those who just have the graduate degree. Within 6 months after graduation, we are talking about those people who doesn't have the working experience, for example, or maybe equal work experience. So by that time, you will be more competitive when everything looks equal. The postgraduate degree will put you in the more competitive position. And then professional recognition, this is also very important, you know, especially if you are in area that involve technical matters. By having that degree behind your name, MSc, LLM, MCL, whatsoever, or PhD, this will actually accord you with the professional recognition, and people, you know, you don't have to tell them that you have mastered and you have actually equipped yourself with additional knowledge compared to those who do not have similar or equivalent kind of postgraduate degree. So this is by itself is professional recognition. And once you are actually at the industry, trust me, this matters very much. And then potential promotion and increase of salary. This is quite interesting because based on the Saturn Trust survey that they have undertaken, in the UK, for example, those with postgraduate degree are most likely to earn by 5,500 pounds sterling more than the equivalent who only has the undergraduate degree. If we actually convert this amount to rupiah, that is more than 98,000 million, sorry, it's almost 100 million per year, and in ringgit is more than 29,000, almost 30,000 per year. So imagine just by begging that you have in your bag the postgraduate degree, you can actually increase your earning. And also the potential of promotion, because you see, again, you become more outstanding when there are 2 candidates or more, and every other factors are actually equal, then by having the postgraduate degree will actually put you in the more outstanding position. It is more likely for you to be picked up. Just give a simple example of increase of salary. Back in 2006, 2006 in Bahrain, I didn't even know. I completed my PhD. I didn't even know that, you know, they actually pay different amount for those with PhD. When I received my payslip, I was like, how come there are increase? And then and because they increased the pay, the basic pay, everything else also affected, the allowances and everything. And even then, you know, I mean, it's not a big amount. It's at that time only about 30 BD per month, the basic salary, but it's equivalent to 400 per year, which is about 15 million rupiah, and that back more than 16 years ago. For some people nowadays, that could be a 1 month salary by itself. So yeah, you never know. Try, do your PhD and your master's or your PhD. It will actually increase your salary. You may actually get that. And then the other thing, it's not only about, you know, sticking in one area. Of course, by concentrating in certain area, you can actually, obviously, naturally, you can work in the area. But this morning, someone who actually saw about the advertisement about this leaflet, about this program, she told me that she is interested to do postgraduate because she took economics, end up doing communication. I told her, look, why don't you actually make yourself to have the professional recognition by actually doing masters in communication. So at least if what you did was actually based on circumstances, now you can actually make yourself, you can actually excel yourself academically. You have a professional, suitable and proper education background for your career. And also for the switch of career. In fact, of course, you know, at the undergraduate, usually you do like everything on the plate, everything you have to take to graduate for that particular undergraduate degree. But then, you know, what you want to do in the future, or where you want to specialize. Or maybe, you know, after the pandemic, you think that what you have done or what you did prior to the pandemic is not that relevant anymore. You want to switch the career. So this is a good opportunity. Do something that you think will be more relevant to the in the future, or something that you find as the new passion. This will actually be your ticket to switch career. That's a very good reason to do postgraduate study. And then now we take a look at the third reason, the network. And those who are in the industries, they will understand how important it is, the network. Of course, you know, by going to the university, you do your postgraduate study, you will meet the like-minded people, the people who have the passion in furthering their study, in getting the degree, in whatever could be the reason. But, you know, basically you will meet like-minded people, and this is very good. This will actually refresh your mind and will make yourself also more relevant to the industry. And second, network with people from the intended industry. What I mean by the intended industry, you see, like the lady whom I said in the morning that she did actually her degree in economy, but she ended up actually doing communication. So by taking a postgraduate degree in communication, for example, she would most likely meet the people who really are the, you know, who really have the passion in the field, and who could also be the people who are already established, who already have their names. So this will be really matter. This can actually focus, it could actually direct to which particular industry you'd like to meet the people from the area. This is something that, you know, well, you can do by going for conferences, etc., etc. But there's no guarantee that you can find or you can actually get their time. But when you do your postgraduate study, you will really meet the people who really matter, you know, the professors, the expert, the lecturers. They are the people who are really knowledgeable and from whom the knowledge you require in order to, of course, upgrade your skill, to improve yourself, and also from your fellow classmates, you know. These are the people whom you will find not only relevant, but could also be very beneficial to your future development in your career. And the third, this is, I think, very well known, it's who you know. It's not really who you are, but it's really who you know. And this what matters most when it comes to you being in the office, because we are not talking about, you know, like taking the easy way out because, you know, someone, no. But, you know, in reality, when we work, there are many areas where you need to collaborate, when you need to work together, where sometimes, of course, you need to get some help. By knowing the people who are the expert, who are the, you know, who have the background, who have the knowledge in certain areas, and the fastest way to doing this, of course, you know, by enrolling in the postgraduate study, this will really help in you carrying out your work. So this is very valuable, and it will prove to be valuable over time, because, you know, for example, when we talk about Islamic finance industry, most of the time I say, oh, she's my junior, he's my junior, you know. We graduate from the same university, from IIUM. I would say most of the people who excel in Islamic finance either graduate from IIUM, mostly from IIUM, especially, you know, the older generation like myself, and some from the more from the later university. But the point is, those people who were your classmate at that time now have become somebody who, these are the people who you can collaborate to actually shape the industry. And I'm actually walking this track. we have actually helped the industry to be how it is today. And those are the people we have met many years ago, and they are now our dear colleagues. Keep them. When you have this kind of network, keep them very close to you, keep them dearly. And if you don't have it already, enroll in postgraduate study, at least that will be a good beginning how to start meeting those people. I hope I'm not going too fast. And the fourth reason, job requirement. This is especially true for certain areas. For example, take a simple example. If you would like to be a lecturer, in the past, maybe in some, not well, certain level of university, well, minimum requirement is actually master's degree. So no way you can be a lecturer with only undergraduate degree. But nowadays, even master's degree is not enough anymore. You have to have a PhD. That's an example. And in so many areas, those related to IT, those related to accountancy, whatsoever. In fact, for certain position, you can only climb that ladder. You can only be stationed there when you have the postgraduate qualification. That's the first. And the second, specialization. This is especially in the medical area, where, without doing your postgraduate study, you'll be just the general doctor, for example, or you'll be just a general nurse. I mean, doing the general kind of works. But in order to do certain areas, you have to actually do postgraduate. And this is especially true not only for the medical, actually, even for us, like myself, because I would like to concentrate in Islamic finance. I actually really went into that in-depth specialization when I did my master's in IIUM. Maybe people at that time found it very weird. Why this lady taking banking, taking Shariah, taking computer? Because at that time there was no fintech yet. At that time, even Islamic finance was not very well established yet. And then, after several years, then we have Islamic finance, we have Islamic fintech. All those that I took during the postgraduate study become very relevant. So yeah, specialization is another reason why sometimes in order to do certain job, you have to take postgraduate study. Now, last but not least, other reasons. This could be so many other reasons that you may have. Contribution to chosen field. This was the trigger for me when I wanted to do my PhD, because I felt at that time there was this area that does not have any answer yet, and it is very relevant to people's life that you must have the answer for that. So this could be something that you really want to do an in-depth research in. And for this, there's no other way that is better than doing your postgraduate study. Because then, as I've been telling about how valuable the presence of the lecturers are, because you see, this is the thing, they already have that garden of knowledge that has been inbuilt in them for so many years. That will be, forgive my language, but very good shortcut for you to go to get the juice, and from upon which you can actually build your area where you would like to contribute. And of course, they will be the best guide to help you as well, to make sure that you'll actually go to where you are heading to. And then this could be another reason, exposure to other culture. And this is very important, for those, especially if you are not in Malaysia yet, you may want to go to Malaysia, you may want to actually go to any other country. Because what I found from my own experience, when you do, when you go abroad, when you study in other country, not only it will open up your mind, it will actually change your perception about people, change your perception about other culture, about attitude, and it will also equip you with this ability how to adapt, how to approach people from certain nationality. And trust me, I found my experience being IIUM student when I was there, when I did my degree and postgraduate actually in IIUM. MashaAllah, IIUM, it has people of so many backgrounds coming from every part of the globe. So if you want to learn about some people culture in Africa, for example, or from Saudi, or from Bosnia, from Maldives, you can find all these people in Malaysia. So it's not only that you will learn about Malaysian culture, you will learn about the world culture there. And this you will find to be very, very valuable to your work, because as we are actually climbing that ladder, our career ladder, we meet different sort of people. You cannot actually determine, oh, I just want to work with people of certain nation. No. And when you are so used to actually be around the people from so many and with diverse background, it will be easy for you just to communicate, to, you know, approach them, to actually send your message across. That is very important. And living the university life, this is something I missed. That's why I wanted to do my postdoctoral actually. Well, of course, you know, our life is hectic. Most of us who are already in the industry, we will be very busy with our day-to-day activities, with our commitment here and there. If you just recall how it was, you know, when you did your study, of course, you don't want to do your another undergrad. You can again relive the university life by taking a postgraduate study. And that's why just recently I was in one university, really, that kind of atmosphere, you know, something that you will feel, you will miss it in one way or the other. And for those, if I may just make a little recommendation, just a recommendation for those who at the moment are not really sure what you need to do, the pandemic or post the pandemic, why not do under postgraduate study? And those who may have, you know, who may be in search of a job, for example, it is a good reason, it's a very good reason if you are in that position to actually take a postgraduate study, because it can fill the gap in your CV. Because, you know, when you have that gap in the CV and you can explain, oh, because I tried to get a job and I just don't get one, that will not appear good to the person who interview you. I've been in this position for quite a while now, interviewing candidates for job, for different kind of position in whatever requirements. It is better for someone to say, oh, okay, I actually quit the job, or I do not work for that particular year because I actually do my PhD or I do my master's, rather than saying, oh, I don't like my job, I leave the job and I couldn't find the job that I like until now, something like that. It will not give that good impression. So if you happen to be in that position, or you just happen to feel like, oh, you need to switch, you need to actually do something to find a new passion, and you still don't know, you don't have the answer yet what you want to do, then apply for a postgraduate study. It will actually not only fill the gap, it will also give you it will actually give you refresh yourself, and, you know, who knows, maybe you will come out someone new with all this, you know, very more innovative way of thinking. Yeah, I've spoken about that career break. Oh, it could also be environment change. Environment change in the sense that, or maybe you cannot leave your job, or you just love your work so much that you don't want to actually take a break from it, but you feel that you need to have a change, then it's okay, do a postgraduate study on a part-time basis. So at least, you know, you can have maybe during the working days, be occupied with your work. At the weekend, you can actually concentrate on your you can have new environment when you do your study, postgraduate study, or you can also like maybe have it in the morning, your full-time job. And nowadays, guys, since most of us actually work from home, and you can actually adjust your time for your work, this is a good opportunity if you'd like to take a part-time postgraduate study. And some postgraduate studies are actually offered online. You can also do it through online. You can actually do it a hybrid option. The change of environment will actually refresh you, will actually make you more not only the potential to be more innovative, but also, you know, you will be more ready to accept challenges, and that is very important when it comes to everything, not only your career, but even your life. So basically, thank you. That's the 5 reasons that I have shared. And I have actually intentionally scheduled my presentation to be half an hour because I suppose there will be a Q&A for another half of my time. Shakira, is that true? Shakira, you are on mute. You're still on mute, Shakira.
Oh, sorry, Dr. Hurriyah. Actually, I changed my device due to internet connection issue just now. Okay, since we have plenty of time, let's ask a lot of questions to Dr. Hurriyah. Anybody, if you would like to ask questions, you can raise your hand and turn on your mic and ask questions. Well, at the same time, I will look at the questions on YouTube channel here. Anybody? Let's ask questions to Dr. Hurriyah. Take this opportunity. It is not easy, you know, getting Dr. Hurriyah online with us. I think this is the first time I have a session with Dr. Hurriyah for through postgraduate program. So please, anybody?
Yes, so the little.
Are you shy? Don't be shy.
You know, the little secret, Shakira, if you'd like to have me joining your event, ask Prof. Ida to ask me. I cannot say no to her.
Okay, definitely. So I got the trick and tips already. Any questions, everyone? Okay, now let me start with one question while waiting for others because they're still shy asking questions.
Sure.
Basically, in Malaysia, it's quite skeptical when we have a postgraduate degree, and at the same time we would like to serve the industry because this is normal. I think since quite some times. I have my personal experience with this when I apply for a position because I come from a corporate finance background. When I come back, I've been on a career break for quite some time. So when I'm planning to return to the industry, they say that I am overqualified. And now I'm currently in a PhD candidate. So it's more challenging. So what would you say? Any tips on that, Dr. Hurriyah, in order for me to tell the industry, look, even though I have postgraduate degree, I still want to serve the industry and I still have a lot to learn and share my knowledge and skills to the industry?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I think this is quite common among those people, especially in the banking background, thinking that, oh, what is most important when you are in banking sector is to have the hands-on experience and not the academic achievement, which I actually would like to, I'd beg to differ in the sense that, you know, I mean, the fact that really placed me where I am today, those are basically, I have to actually acknowledge the fact that I have those knowledge, I have those critical way of thinking, which I developed when I did my postgraduate. You see, maybe not just a piece of paper. I mean, like, it's not so much, especially when you compete with so many candidates for one position. Maybe you cannot simply just back the position and believe that you can secure it just because you have a postgraduate degree. No, but what you learn, that's the substance that you acquire from the postgraduate degree, and when you can demonstrate this to the interviewer, that looks, it's not about the degree, forget about the degree, but what I can contribute. I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, and why I can do this, and because I've learned this, I've done this, and you know, I've actually come up with a breakthrough the innovation. You know, this the industry has been stagnant in certain area because due to these reasons. And if you want to change, if you want to break that glass ceiling, we need to do this. If you can demonstrate to the interviewer this, believe me, they will not say you are overqualified. They will realize that they may actually pay you more. So really, I mean, what I mean is never consider your postgraduate degree just as a piece of paper. So it's not about trying to get a job by showing that, oh, I have this paper, or by putting behind your name, Dr. Hurriyah, ElIslamy, LLB, honors, MCL, PhD, whatever. I have a few. I never put in my name actually the rest. It's not about that, because you see sometimes people may actually be frightened. The interviewer, the company may be frightened into thinking, if this person has worked so much, has studied so much all the time, does he ever actually try to see whether what he has learned or she has learned is applicable to the industry? Because sometimes there's a gap between the theory and the practice. But when you can demonstrate that by doing your postgraduate study, you have actually equipped yourself to make yourself more relevant to the industry, that you can offer to the industry that those other people who could be maybe 10 decades, a decade or more in the industry, have been working all their life, but they have just been repeating the same thing. You can easily say, look, these people have been doing what they have been doing the past 10 years. But by having me, I can demonstrate why you can change, why we can change, why we can actually better output or better outcome for the company. Because if you want the same result, you don't need me. But you want better result, then you need to change. You cannot just simply continue employing the same people, right? So that's how it's very much about how you approach, how you try to sell yourself. So not the piece of paper, but about what you gain and what you can offer.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Dr. Ria. I will practice that. I try again my luck, because I have interest in social finance in Islamic banks. So I will try again and see if any.
Shakira, talking about social finance, yeah, this is the area where I feel is very lacking. You know, we have such a huge potential where Islamic finance can actually excel better than the conventional counterpart if we actually capitalize on our social finance. And the social finance not necessarily mean it is 100% charity. It could be commercial social finance. It could be a hybrid. What I mean is there will be less poor people. We can eradicate the poverty and at the same time increase the wealth of the nation, increase our level of economy if we actually optimize the aspect of social finance. So you are very relevant, my dear. You just need to know how to sell yourself.
Okay, definitely, Dr. Ria. I will take your advice seriously and apply again. Okay, next question is from Sister Wan Shahira Wan Jafri. She would like to know about your experience and your opinion on how you decide on what area you want to specialize in postgraduate study, because she said during undergraduate, we learn the basics in almost every area, but still not sure which area to pursue and focus on while doing postgraduate.
Yeah, thank you very much, Wan Shahira, for the question, and this is very apt. There is, well, me being a graduate from a boarding school in Indonesia, then IIUM for my degree, you know, I wouldn't say myself is religious, but I do believe that if you want to know who knows most, is Allah. So there is a religious aspect, there is scientific aspect. The religious aspect, I would say I am a strong believer of istikhara. But going to the scientific aspect, in my case, I would say I'm quite lucky in the sense that, you know, when I did my degree, I knew already like, oh, this area will be the future of the industry. They don't even know it yet. You know, at that time, I was already looking at the computer law in the way beyond what computer law at that time. So it's not just about forensic, but how it is going to be utilized for the banking industry, for example. So why I'm sharing this, if it is not based on your passion, yeah, what is most important, first of all, you set the purpose. You must have the purpose. So have the purpose. What is it that you want to gain? Why? Because, you know, doing postgraduate study is not always a playground. When you enjoy it, when you like it, all you know, like, that's it, you know, like, I wish I have longer time. Maybe I was just like that, you know, like, I graduated again from IIUM, you know. It could be a playground. It could be something very interesting when you love it, which, alhamdulillah, in my case, I love it. But for some people, it could be a struggle, especially, you know, like, if, take a simple example. Either you are not lucky enough that your supervisor is very busy, so they cannot give you the proper guidance, or you are doing an area that keep on evolving. So there's a potential that the industry is always ahead of what is always ahead of your research, or you don't even know what to write, in which case, or what the research or the area you want to consider, in which case it will be a struggle. A struggle because you don't even know what purpose, you don't even know where you want to go. That's why, set the purpose. What do you want? Yeah, if you didn't even know what do you want, two things very important. First, do you want to do something that will be most relevant to the future? If yes, then do your homework, do your data search. It's easy. Google can help you doing anything, right? You know, what will be relevant in the next 5 years, 10 years, 2 decades in the future. And always accompany that with istikharah, because you never know, you know, you never know how it will turn out. As I said, when I did my postgraduate, it happened that these 3 areas, Sharia banking, commerce, and computer, are my passion. At that time, we didn't know anything about fintech. Now, you know, there's fintech, and I become the first person relevant when the industry is growing, Islamic fintech. So yeah, have the purpose, do your istikharah.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Hurriyah. I think Washaira, please take this seriously as the advice for your postgraduate journey. Next question is from Sister Hermita Arif. I am currently working as a lecturer in accounting, specialization in Islamic accounting, still looking for PhD opportunity and scholarship. Actually, I'm still doing reading on the hot issue to write for my dissertation proposal. Would you mind share your tips or your experience on how to find the topic or the most beneficial topic on Islamic accounting to the development of the knowledge and industry? Thank you. Sister Hermita is from Makassar. She said she said, send my warmest regard from Makassar to your little princess, my swimming friend.
Mashallah. Mashallah. So Sister Hermita, thank you for the question. Of course, I mean, like, I will have to make a disclosure here. I'm not expert in accounting. Accounting is not even my background. So if you are talking about technicality, which one will be most relevant in the future, I will not be the right person to answer the question. But if you want to ask my view and my opinion from someone who has been in the Islamic finance industry, whom I feel like there is this still area lacking, which I wish that the accounting will be available, it will better equip the Islamic finance, is the fact that, you know, to a certain extent, although this is not always the same, you know, of course, we have got IFSB, mashallah, has been very determined. My dear brother, Dr. Bello, is there, you know, they have been the pioneer, actually, when it comes to the accounting for the Islamic finance. But if there is any area, if you can actually, if you intend to make a breakthrough, since you're from Makassar, let's talk about the Indonesian condition. When it comes to Islamic finance that we do here, we are very much akad centralized, like, you know, akad first, and then we actually focus on that, and then you do your accountancy based on the akad, which I think when you perpetuate this, when we try to be creative with the kind of product or the structure of an Islamic finance product, then they will find that, oh, the accounting treatment for that is still missing. And then people tend to actually find the equivalent in the conventional, which is not ideal. So for Indonesian purpose, for Indonesian context, of course, you know, if you want to be ahead, I've been advocating that we need to reform Syariah finance, Syariah keuangan Syariah Indonesia. I've been telling this time and again, even when I have to actually share my views with the relevant ministries, with authorities. I keep on telling them, look, this is the time, it is high time that we should do reform for our Syariah finance, for our keuangan Syariah in Indonesia. If you want to be ahead, then you could actually equip yourself. Take a look at those IFSB standards for products which are not here yet. You know, we are still for the capital market products, for example, we are still really lacking on optimizing on Wakala products, on IDMA, things like that. And we don't have the accounting treatment for those products here in Indonesia yet because we don't have the products yet. So if you want to be ahead, take a look. That will not be that complicated because IFSB is already there to guide you, and try to actually compare that with what we have in Indonesia and see how they can actually be implemented, not only for the products, the new products, which we hope in the near future will be implemented, but even for the existing one. I keep on saying one of the reasons why we are behind with our Sharia or Islamic finance in Indonesia is because we are too concentrated on looking at one single akad. We are not actually concentrating on the purpose or the objective of the transaction. Why make it so restricted that in most situations we cannot even, you know, offer flexibility to the customers, and it's the industry that suffer. So yeah, you can be the pioneer. You can start with the accountancy treatment for those which are coming.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Hurriyah. Sister Hermita, if you would like to get more information about Islamic accounting, you can browse through IIUM library because we have selection of online thesis which you can refer to. And one of my colleague, Dr. Rahmawati from Indonesia, she just graduated from a PhD in accounting. Maybe you can contact me later. I'll give her contact number so that you can basically talk to her, get some information about Islamic accounting with her, Sister Hermita, all right?
And Shakira, you have just demonstrated my point that, you know, doing postgraduate is a shortcut.
Networking is important. I'm so happy to be in IIUM because I have a lot of friends everywhere, all over the world, you see. So, any other questions from the floor before we end our session? I'm taking one more question. One more question. Let me see if there is any question from the.
There are many
okay.
in the chat.
There's
right?
one question from Sister Syra. I am a converted Muslim with 10 years experience from China. I am struggling with my PhD in nursing hardly. Alhamdulillah, thanks to this motivation session, I'm interested in Islamic law and Bahasa Malaysia. But as a single mother of 2 little children, they would be surely full of challenges. Thinking about this, I am helpless. Dr. Hurriyah, challenges of being a mother. So let's hear from you.
Yeah. And I'm also a single mother now that my husband passed away in 2019, and I have 2 children as well. And you know, so yeah, I wouldn't say it's the same, Saira, but maybe more or less, you know, I can feel the challenges that you experience. But I always believe, you know, I mean, this will be, it may sound religious, it's just that I'm really walking what I'm going to share with you, that at the end, even if you have a husband, if you have 100 mates, yeah, the best of wakil, of the person who can help you is Allah. So you see, when I lost my husband, yeah, well, I mean, of course, I mean, I'm a human. I feel, I grieve. I felt like, oh, that's it. But you know, Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil, ni'mal maula wa ni'man nasir, the best of the helper, the best of someone whom you can entrusted your affairs with is Allah. Start with praying to Allah first. Second, you must have the faith. You must believe that for yourself, for your two children, there is already this guarantee from Allah in the Quran. So I'm glad that, thank you, sister. We are happy to have you, that you have reverted to Islam. I would like to share this one guarantee from God that can, I hope, can ease your pain, can give you that comfort, not to worry so much about what you are actually getting from God. In the Quran, Allah said, "Likulli mauludin lahu rizquhunna wa kiswatuhunna bil ma'ruf." For each that has been born, so not only just human, even for those animal, that everything that has been born, every single person, every single soul that has been born, likulli mauludin lahu rizquhunna, for him. So for yourself, my sister Saira, for your children, each of them, Allah has determined their risk, what they will get. Wakiswatuhunna, even what Allah will actually sure to actually wrap them bil ma'ruf, in a good way. Not only just feeding, not only, I used to have a joke when I was in Malaysia. God give you mouth, He will give you food. God give you body, He will give you dress to cover yourself. What I mean is, again, why I keep on repeating this, but this is very important. Set the purpose, because purpose will make you strong. What is the purpose? What it is your objective? You must have the objective, because it will not only make you strong, it will give you the persistence to actually walk the way that you are heading to. And it also allow you to prioritize. So you can have the map for your life. Okay, now I want to complete my PhD. And I have two children whom as a mother I'm responsible to. So how do you do it? By the way, my sister, Saira, when I did my PhD, I have my child. At the beginning, my husband and myself, we have to actually resign from our work because we travel to other country. And for a couple of months, because at that time, it was a few decades ago, we brought a travel's check. At that time, they don't have this, transport ever yet. It was not advanced. So we cannot even have our cash yet for a couple of months. And by the way, I was doing my PhD full time and I was working full time. And over time, I even work full time, 2 jobs. But as I said, you must know your purpose. And when you set your objective, you do priority. So what I did at that time, and I'm not saying that you have to do this. Why I did that, because I really enjoy it. I like to think about a problem that nobody can resolve. I have to resolve it. So what I do, actually I do this, I do my own schedule at that time. So I have from certain time to certain time where I dedicate to my children. My child at that time, I have only one son at that time. And then from certain time to certain time, I dedicate for my work, and certain time to certain time for my study, and I do it consistently. So I have a clear distribution of time, when to do what. And then, this is not too nice, but that's what I did. And with the excess, I actually do it for, I have been very consistent with, mashallah, at that time, my tahajjud, my duha and all that. Because for me, it's not being religious. It's just that it was very challenging time. I went through it and I found this comfort that, when I pray, when I do my sujud, it's just like when in the older time, people write their diary. Nowadays, people put on the Instagram, no, don't put your problem on Instagram. It will just make it more complicated, and you don't want the whole world to know. But instead of writing on the diary, when you sujud, actually, you can just say anything to God. He is the most who hear, and He's already promised us, kul ibadi anni inni qarib ujibu da'wata da'in iza da'an. Tell to my servant, I'm so close, I'm so near to them. And if you pray for me, if you ask me, I'll answer. But answer doesn't mean that you get what you want, because what you want is not necessarily the best. Allah is Rahman Rahim. Allah is the most merciful, the most loving to his creation, that Allah will give what is best for you, not what you want. But again, you know, in order for you to be able to hold on, to be persistent, not to lose the strength, set the objective, my dear. Set the objective. What is it that you want? How many years you want to do your PhD? Now, maybe if you have done it for 2 years and you have another 1 year, how many more chapters left? So you need to know exactly, and then you can divide your time accordingly. And if you need to have any help, you ask for any help. Yeah, not only from God, from your friend. Ask for help. Look, I really have to focus on completing my study. Would you mind, you know, like maybe for an hour or two, please be at home, be with my children. I just want to focus. Things like that. I mean, like, especially if you are, I don't know, I assume if you are in Malaysia, you know, Malaysian people are very nice. I mean, they may actually just take your children and, you know, but what I mean, you must know exactly what you want in order for you to set your priority and ask help whenever you have to. And the best help, of course, coming from God, but we are social animal. There are people around you. Ask for help, so you will not be helpless.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Hurriyah. I think it's about time for me to set up a new, because in Facebook we have this doctorate support group to support all postgraduate students. Now I'm thinking of a mother's postgraduate mother support group, so that we can share our concern, our sadness, our worries there. Inshallah, I hope it can be materialized soon, because we need a network actually for mothers to share the same feelings. And so, okay, now I see a few questions from Johira, from Samha Nias, and on YouTube from Tita Pon, related to the program. Okay, dear sisters and brothers, I think those questions will be answered with another session with Brother Faiz. And bear in mind that in this afternoon, you are having another session, a parallel session with different deans, deputy deans, and academics from different kuliah. So you can ask questions during the session to have more better understanding about the program that you are interested on. Okay, I think that's all for our session today. Thank you so much, Dr. Hurriyah, for this 1 hour of wonderful session. I think I would like to request for another session.
Ada Prof Ida.
With you soon, inshallah. I will submit the proposal to Prof Ida soon. Okay, before we end the session, okay, it's not easy to get you the Hurriyah, I know that. So before we end our session, the second slots, I would like all of you to turn on your camera, because our tech team would like to take photos of all of us, Dr. Hurriyah, Dr. Azlina, Dr. Illiani, together with our Dean of CPS, Prof Ida. Prof Ida, is still here? So please turn on your camera, and our tech team will take photo. Brother Ihsan, over to you. Brother Ihsan or Sister Fariha?
Sister Fariha will take the photo.
Okay, Sister Fariha.
Okay, thank you everyone. We are waiting for the others to switch on the camera.
Please turn on your camera now.
Okay, I'll take the photo now. 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more time. 1, 2, 3. Okay, done.
Okay. Okay, we are done. Thank you so much. All right. And as our first session with the respected IIUM alumni and our academics from IIUM Kuantan, Dr. Azlina and Dr. Illiani, and that. And the next session is a session with Postgraduate Student Society. Okay, so stay tuned with us because our brother Faiz will take over this session. And with that, I would like to thank Dr. Hurriyah, Dr. Azlina, and Dr. Illiani for a wonderful session. So those who wants to follow Dr. Hurriyah, please follow her on LinkedIn. I've been following her for quite some time. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Hurriyah, for a wonderful session.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, Prof. Idat, Shakira.
Thank you very much, Hurriyah. We'll definitely have you back.
Thank you.
Probably
So
on your area on Islamic finance. We really
Inshallah.
want you to give a talk on Islamic finance to the
Sure,
students.
it will be a great pleasure, Professor. And thank you everybody. Mohon maaf kalau ada salah hilap. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, we will having 5 minutes break, and Brother Faiz will come back at 11:40. Thank you so much, everyone. With that, this is my my session ended now. Thank you so much for a wonderful morning. With that, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hello, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning, everyone. It's nearing afternoon. I'm sorry, good afternoon. I'm Faiz Nakib, and I have been requested by Center of Postgraduate Study to share a bit of my experience, basically as one of the students who immediately started my postgraduate journey after my undergraduate studies. So just to inform is that the chat box will be open always. So if you have any question whatsoever, please don't hesitate, fire it away. But I will only answer it as far as I know. So just to manage some expectations there. But as a bit of background is that I am a graduate of IIUM from 2021. Actually, I finished my exam on February 2021. I got my degree endorsed by Senate on the 3rd of March 2021. And then I enrolled into Masters on 12th of March 2021. So not much leeway there in terms of breathing space, or we should say I didn't take much break after my degree, or after I graduate from my kuliah. I'll just mention that currently I'm a second year master student for Master in Comparative Laws, and I think that's quite forward. If I may ask in the Zoom right now, how many of you are actually currently UG students, or perhaps new applicants for PG? Are there anyone here? Anyone? All right. It's okay, never mind. At the same time, I can also give some. All right. At the same time, I also sorry. At the same time, I also can answer some questions in regards to the current situation here in IIUM. So if you have any questions in relation to that, I can also entertain. But in essence, what happened is, today we're going to discuss, I would like to have this like more conversational manner actually, but then again, like I would like to prioritize questions from you guys in regards to what do you think about this idea of taking no break, taking no a gap period, I guess, between your UG and PG studies. And I would say like it's quite of a huge adventure actually. I'll say that if I could say that I'm grateful that I started my master's immediately, because I think like a lot of people sometimes, you know, they are scared of what they don't know, basically the unknown, right? So this idea about postgraduate studies being this like, you know, like the jewel on top, really scares some people. And I think that is something that I experienced during my first time, during my first week, literally, like I have no idea what I was doing. Like I enrolled, I went to e-admission, I paid $100. I do all of the forms, and look, I got offer letter, and then like, okay, my class start next week. Basically, I got thrown immediately there, and it was quite a journey, I should say, because when I was in class, not many of my batch actually started their master immediately after after undergraduate. So you are literally in class, 10 to 12 people, but a lot of other people are like working professionals, or basically part-timers who are basically in the same field. And of course, in some sense, you as a newer, so to say, as a younger student who just decide to take this journey immediately would feel a bit hesitant, feel a bit anxious about what's about to come. But then again, after 1 year, I'm here, being close with a lot of people here. I've managed to find a lot of new friends, as well as in terms of my studies. Right now, I'm taking my research. So basically, I have 2 years to complete my thesis, and this is my second year. Inshallah, I will finish it by March next year. So it is quite a ride. I have to be honest. It is quite a ride, and I actually really enjoy it. Now, going straight to the topic of today, which is something that has been assigned to me by CPS, which is in regards to what are the pros and what are the cons of immediately doing your postgraduate studies after undergraduate. I should say that time plays a factor. Of course, the usual answer is that you do your master's immediately because you want to save more time. Because if you already plan to do your master's, right, you might as well just go for it immediately after you graduate. The moment you got your scroll, just apply immediately. And that's the general notion. Of course, that's the pro, but then that's also the cons. I'll say, if I may adjust, pros are benefits, are bonuses. It doesn't necessarily be the factor that influences your success when you do your postgraduate studies. And when we talk about cons, it's not necessarily, something that limits you. It's just a challenge, something more that you have to overcome when you're trying to finish your studies, regardless you're doing a master or you're doing a PhD. Again, I would like to say, if you have any, there's technically a Q&A session at the end of the day, but then again, I would like to have, if you have any questions immediately, just put it in the chat box immediately and I will address it immediately as possible. So when I say about time being both pros and cons, it's because if you already have that enthusiasm, if you already have master or PhD as part of your plan, then doing it immediately will definitely save a lot of your time, will definitely help you in terms of later on, when you are older, you might have more commitments. And if you take that gap, you probably lose your motivation. But that's something that we're going to discuss later. But when it comes to, of course, when it comes to the challenge about time, is that, again, you're taking an extra year of study or the extra 2 years of study. I personally, because I'm a law student, right? So I see a lot of my friends, after they graduate, after their degree, they already do chambering, and it will be lying to say that sometimes you wish oh, I want to do that, I want to chamber, I should have done my chambering. But then again, at the end of the day, it depends on what do you do your masters. I think the previous session has already discussed about why do you plan to do your master at the first place, or what are the factors or the reasons why you should continue your postgraduate studies. And for me personally, it's just that I have interest, I have passion in this particular field. And maybe because at the same time as well, I'm also looking to search where is my place in this particular field. During your undergraduate, right, you learn a lot of basics. You basically learn everything at once. And so your knowledge pool would be whole circle, and you don't really have any particular specialization. And I took my master's because I want to be specialized in something. I think I know how to specialize in something. And with that already in mind, I say, go for it. Do your master's immediately. That's me. That's just how I feel when I was deciding on continuing my master's or not. So time is a factor, of course. Time is both the pros and the cons. And let's talk about motivation. Something that I already talked about a bit just now. It's just that psychologically speaking, you really need to have interest or passion when you do want to do your master PhD. I have a lot of friends who, I have a variety of friends who have a variety of reasons why they want to do their master PhD. Some do it because their parents ask them to. Some do it because they want to get better pay. Some do it because I have this one actually touching story actually, because from my friend. It's because like he did his PhD because he has a son who has this problem, I say autism, something like that, and like he sees his PhD as the best way for him to assist in the development of his son. So that's quite of when I heard that story, like tears fall down, and like it's like okay, that's a lot of stuff talking about. But then again, like we talk about motivation, right? What happened is that in terms of the benefit of starting your PG immediately is that when you delay your intention to do your master's or to do your PhD, you add more and more reasons for you not to do your master PhD. Let's say like, okay, you start to work, right? You start comfortable with work. Of course, when you work, perhaps you get married, you have children, and eventually this is what happened. I can share from my own personal experience that actually like the reason why I have quite an interest in academia is because I remember I have this talk with my dad. This is not not trying to make it somber or anything. Okay, this is just I think like one of the reasons why it motivates me a lot to do my master. It's just that my father told me, he said that he's not blaming anything. It's just that he thinks like, if you want to do your master, do immediately before you have all of the other things, all of the other commitments, because I can vouch that doing your master and PhD will drain yourself out. We're not talking about physical commitments. We're not talking about needing to how do I say this? We're not talking about you needing to like go here and there, you have to have high endurance or something. It takes a lot mentally from you, because you don't really have the same amount of and I think this is where I go with the cons. The cons is that when I started my master immediately, you ran the risk of doing this alone. So you don't have like those, your peers, your batchmate who you always have as a group during your undergraduate studies, and eventually like you have to figure things up all alone. And even though I took research during my first semester, I took 2 compulsory classes to do research. And what happened is that that 2 subject, I have classmates, but when we want to discuss about something, different people have different commitment, different people have different approach in that particular subject. So you really have to depend on yourself during these particular moments. But I think this is where that time, that commitment, when the fact that you can invest 100%, not 100%. Yeah, if you have nothing else, you can invest 100% on your master's or PhD without, fearing or without fearing that you will waste your time when you can do other commitments. So that's one thing lah. I think one of the biggest cons that actually I asked a few of my friends about this before I came here today. I asked a few of my friends, both UG and both UG, PG, as well as a few of my friends who already started working. I think the one main criteria that they say it kind of makes them want to delay their postgraduate studies, because they want that work experience. They want because they think that if you have experience in industry, it will help a lot when you're doing your master or PhD. basically you understand the industry more, you understand what's the problem, you understand what is being practiced out there. So they see this as a cons, for you to start PG immediately. However, if I may say, like, when I heard that, of course, like, at first, you have to acknowledge that as part of it. That's the truth as well. Like, those who have working experience doing their master or PhD may have that a bit of advantage against you. But then again, this is also where I see, or I feel like, that time that you save can actually help you to compound against or to offset that particular challenge. It's because when you're younger, you have more energy, you have less commitment. What happens is that you can actually venture far. You're not limited into, your own experience. You can go around, ask other people's experience. And I think like that's what happened during my, like after my enrollment into postgraduate. Apart from going to classes, I have a bunch of free time. So what I did is that I went around. I became like, quote unquote, disciple of Prof. Ida. And like at the same time, I managed to have plenty of sharing sessions with her, and not just her, like I have a few friends as well outside. So with this energy, with this commitment, this lack of commitment I have, I'm able to venture out more. I'm able to see things, not just bogged down in my particular experience. Because I think, like, let's just be honest, right? Sometimes, when you have a lot of experience in one thing, and when you enter into an environment where you need to be adaptable, or where you need to be able to accept other people's opinions or experience, having an abundance of experience on your own in that particular time would actually go, it will be a hindrance against yourself in such a sense. So when you start immediately, because of your energy, because of your commitment, because of your motivation, because remember, when you start your master, because when you start immediately, you don't have that gap. So you are still in student mode. I think this is where my point just now, when I talk about, people, they start working, they start families. And so what happens is that they will, they're not just a student, they're a father, they're a worker, they're an employer, along those lines. So having that multiple commitments may actually be something that weigh down yourself during your particular studies. But I think that's my point, is that when you study immediately, I would say this is like a malleable experience. It's easy for you to shape your view on particular industry while you're still young. Because you have no particular, because you're still young as well, you do have the opportunity to shadow some people, shadow some those that you view as experts, or those that you view as having experience. So I think that's both a pros and cons. It depends on how you view it. And perhaps I think like this is one big pro that a lot of people tend to forget, is actually that our education landscape always change, right? The requirements, the procedures, as well as the conduct or the lectures, it can change just now. And you might say yourself, oh, I just like let me delay it for 1 year, and I'll just enroll the next year. And I thought of that on 2019, and apparently 2020, we have the COVID. That COVID thing really changed things a lot. you went from physical classes immediately to online classes. So those who are comfortable of physical classes, they find it online classes challenging. So when you delay, imagine if you're a 2019 graduate, right? If you're a 2019 graduate and then you just immediately, you delay 1 year, and now you suddenly find yourself you need to, you can only do all of your research or all of your classes online. In fact, I think I have that privilege or maybe of experiencing both environment. Like my final year is online and my first year of masters is also online. So that kind of like difference inside, I can see when I saw some of my friends, who now who previously, like, they say, oh, I wish I've enrolled sooner because I want online class. I prefer online class. And then now we already start doing physical again. So the biggest pro is that if you enroll immediately, you have the highest chance of staying in that same environment, staying in that same syllabus of study that you perhaps already researched during your undergraduate. Because you never know, like within 1 year, a lot of revamps can change, a lot of those requirements can change. In fact, it could be even harder. I think I'm not just talking about experience between UG and PG. Even if you're an SPM student, you delay your undergraduate, you probably see what I'm saying is true. But then again, at the end of the day, that's the thing that I feel comfortable of saying that I'm grateful of starting my master immediately, because I've been following a few of like my international friends who's doing their master, who's doing your PhD. So I've had that kind of experience. I have the privilege or the honor to ask them about their experience. How is it to do your defense, or how is it that you feel about how does it you feel about doing all of this research alone. So the fact that I don't have a gap, it means that I'm able to utilize whatever lessons I learned from them immediately, and it helps with the adapting. Yes, I said that earlier, I struggled a bit during my first semester because you've been trusted such that I have like literally just a bit more than a week between UG and PG, and then suddenly that I'm in class, in PG class, and then right now I'm working on my proposal, and then like a lot of things happen immediately, and of course it was scary, that change, But then because of the current condition that you are in, you are able to adapt faster. You are able to channel your energy, your time, a lot of it on your studies. Financial wise, I think that's one of the biggest pros and cons debate for a long time. People will say like, if you're doing your, of course, I'm not going to deny you need financial support, or some, you need that finance thing to be in your favor before you begin your master's and PhD. But I think like a lot of people don't see, like, for example, when I started my master, it's actually, apart from me deciding what I want to do, it's just that I'm interested with this one particular research project, and like I want to be a part of it. So when I started my master, I actually enrolled into that project, and I received some monetary support from that particular grant as well. And alhamdulillah, right now I have I'm working under 2 grants. I'm able to manage the financial part a bit, as well as I think that IIUM has a lot of financial assistance available. especially if you're a bright young mind, or basically just someone who has that passion, that interest to do your studies. So beginning your master immediately might actually help you with that particular, it might give you that edge in getting that assistance, or in getting that opportunity to be a part of a project, or basically anything that you can do to offset that financial challenge. I think I talked a lot. Do you guys have any questions in hand? I'm going to I'll open in the chat. If I have any friends here who wants to, speak up their mind, or share their points or opinions or questions, please do so in the chat box. I will engage with them. But at the same time, I have some questions here. Okay. I didn't prepare these questions, to be honest. Right? This is actually technically hybrid, because we also have like a few UG students right next to me, who just, as I speaking, they write, they have questions, they are curious about something. So I'm just going to read it out first. Okay. Okay. What are the what are the benefits? What are the benefits and apa nih? Oh, what's the benefits and risk of doing masters while working? I'm actually like, this is another thing. Actually, when I started my masters, or I should say when I ended my degree, I was actually still working. I've been working part-time since 2019, and I did my master I worked part-time until June 2021. And so technically during my first semester of master, I spent I went to office like 8 or 9, and then I have to go to class at 5 to from 5 to 9. But sometimes, because due to the nature of my work, sometimes I have to stay at the office until 10. So that kind of like work-life balance there, and I would say like it's pretty manageable in that particular sense. It can be pretty manageable, but then again, like you run the risk. You run the risk of again, it's all about time, or it's all about commitment. If you're working while you're doing your masters, of course, in terms of financial, you will do better financially, and also I would say that you also have that working experience that you need. I'll say that you get the best of both worlds. I should put an asterisk there, provided that you are someone who's really good in scheduling yourself, in scheduling your commitments. I think like in session 1 this morning, the speaker had mentioned about having your own timetable, because I think that is quite prominent. You see, when you start your PG, you literally you're on this journey on your own. Yes, you have friends, but they are on their own separate journey. If I can say, it's like you have a different set of tracks. You are trained on different tracks. Yes, you go side by side, but at the end of the day, it's not the same track. So if you don't have a schedule, if you don't have timetable, it's a bit hard for you to discipline yourself or to arrange your commitments accordingly. So if you can do that, then I'll say, go for it. Do your master PhD part-time while working. There's no problem with that. Although I'm not sure about the current rules and regulations at IIUM, whether or not you are allowed to work when you're doing full-time. Are they allowed to do work during full-time? No. Oh, okay. So I get a no from them. So I think that's something that you have to weigh lah. but then again, there's pros and cons there. For the pros is you get to keep your job. The cons is that you spend more time, or you have less time to do your studies like that. Okay. I have questions from chat. If I continue. Any advice for those who want to get masters unrelated to their UG major? I think that's something that the doctor in the previous section just now had already mentioned about changing your. I'll say this is just what I think. If you have interest or passion in that particular field, go for it. Of course, in a sense, you would be lacking a bit in terms of the basics, because undergraduate. Oh, okay. Because in terms of undergraduate opportunities there. Oh, sorry. I'll say, like, in terms of your undergraduate studies, you don't have that foundation, or you don't have that basics on that particular field of yours that you want to do for your PG. But then again, this is my personal experience, and I have actually a friend there who did his UG in economics, but then he took a master in law. And what drives him, what makes him successful in graduating, is actually, even though he struggled a bit to read law at the first place, but then again, at the end of the day, it all boils down to passion. It all boils down to interest, whether or not you. Basically, if you want to change your course, or you want to change your field of study between UG and PG, go for it. If you have passion, if you are interested, I believe that can offset the lack of basics that you have. You probably spend more time in learning the basics, but at the end of the day, this is your passion, this is your interest. It will all be worth it. I think I have to. Sister Shakira, you raised your hand just now. I apologize. Okay, Sister Shakira, are you there? Okay, I think you have a question there. Hello? Oh, Sister Shakira, are you there?
Because I cannot unmute myself. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dear brothers and sisters, I saw an interesting question about benefit of working and doing postgraduate degree at the same time. So I would like to share my experience actually regarding on this, because I come from the industry before I pursue my postgraduate degree. So the benefit that I have when I actually, when I come from the industry, and I took a career break for a while because due to my family needs and I pursued my postgraduate degree. And at the same time, I developed my academic skills there, academic skill in terms of teaching. Okay, I started to teach when I do while I embark to a master degree actually. So I'm a certified trainer by certification and by practice, and then I started from there. So the benefit is that for the past, I think almost 6-7 years now, I have teaching experience at the same time while doing my postgraduate degree. And I don't find any difficulties because postgraduate degrees classes are over the weekdays, evening classes for Kuliah of Economics and Management Sciences. So my teaching classes during the day, and my master classes is in the evening. So I don't have issue. And of course, being a mother, I have to manage my daughter, manage my family at the same time, do part-time studies as well as no, I don't do part-time study. I'm a full-time student, and I do part-time jobs in between to basically top up my additional funding because I received a sponsorship for my brain. And the risk is that I lack of writing skills, I think. So I don't have much hurdles in terms of doing my master degree and working at the same time, because my master degree is purely on coursework, so I don't have issue. So, but I think most of you, quite a number of you are single, so you don't have much. Your time is basically you are working and your study plus maybe your time with your parents. Okay, I have some students that need to go back and take care of their parents over the weekend. So no doubt on that. So meaning that your time is basically your study and your work plus your parents. So I think you can manage that well if you plan wisely. Don't take too many jobs, maybe one or two to basically funding your needs, to pay for maybe your needs if you get scholarship. But the challenges if you are self-funded and you need to get funding to pay for your tuition fee and etc. So there is quite balance. I think I during my master study I'll see more benefits if when I do full-time study and part-time. And regarding about if a full-time student whether you can work or not, for local you don't have issue as long as you fulfill the attendance requirement and the assessment requirement as per kuliah requirement. So you need to refer back to the kuliah requirement and so, and bear in mind that IIUM is not an online university, so we don't have the perk of having online classes. And I think most probably by next semester we are having back to face-to-face classes, and this semester we only have hybrid. So bear in mind with that, manage your time, because I have friends who are doing postgraduate degree at the same time working, and some of them take leave just to attend classes. So you need to manage that, because I encounter some of the juniors asking, oh, I'm working from 9 to 6 and then I need to attend classes. So manage your time, you talk to your superior, and then if necessary take a half day leave because you are entitled for annual leave, or maybe you can arrange with your superior, take one hour off early, or you come to work 1 hour earlier to compensate the 40 hours minimum requirement as per employment regulations. So that's all for me. Over to you, Brother Faiz.
Thank you so much, Sister Shakira. I think like one of the point that I want to make from Sister Shakira's, she's actually a member of PGSS as well. Technically, she's my superior. So if I can expand on that, I think like that's one of the thing, you know, a lot of us are still single, so if you don't want to risk changing that status, you know, start your PG immediately. All right, but then again, like I think I do agree with that actually, like, it depends on the nature of your work. If you can manage, if you can organize your schedule properly. I've seen people who like they manage to, I think, negotiate with their lecturers, you know, oh, I'm busy with I have work, you know, I'm not available, you know, for like half of the classes. So like, okay, make special arrangement. I think like the one of big issues, right, earlier is because a lot of time these people like they work, but then they don't want to share the fact that they're working to their, you know, to these lecturers. I think like if you communicate, about this commitment of yours with your supervisors or your lecturers, they can they can tolerate, they can assist with making the best arrangement that can suit you. And at the same time as well, in regards to the in terms of, I think like even if you're busy, if again, it all boils down to whether you have interest or whether you have passion in that particular field or the particular specialization that you're aiming. I've seen people who work and like they did their studies on the weekends. So weekday work, weekend study, weekday work, weekend study. You know, self-discipline, something like that. And I think like thank you, Sister Shakira, for sharing that. I think like that's something that can ease, you know, some of the people's mind, you know, especially some of you who are perhaps working part-time or full-time, you know, when you're doing your when you're doing your master or PhD, at least you feel like, oh, okay, alhamdulillah. There are people who already passed that challenge. I have actually a question from Sister Hayati. I'm sorry, I'm not a doctor. The one who's going to be a doctor is Sister Shakira here. I'm just Brother Faiz. I would like to know your opinion, which is the best option. Either do your own topic interest or go for SB, which have grant. I mean, like, it depends. Like, are you talking, for me personally, right? The best of both worlds would be if you have interest, let's say you have interest in A, and coincidentally there's a grant for A. That's the best case scenario. You know, like you'll probably be really lucky to have such opportunity. But then if you're asking whether you do your own topic or interest or do you go for CSV which grant, I think like it depends on which particular if you do your grant, most likely because of course you want that you are entitled, sorry, not entitled, you're going to get allowance, right? So it depends which one is your priority. Is the allowance is the determinant or the deciding factor on whether you're willing to tolerate your interest, you're willing to let go your interest for the sake of allowance, and as such for the sake of doing your master's or PhD. Or I say if you don't think, or for you, you know, that allowance is not something particularly important for your journey, then I'll say, you know, do your own topic or interest will also be really good. In fact, like I have the honor or the privilege of actually having do that. When I started my master, I actually I'm self-funded actually. Yeah, I'm self-funded. At the same time, like I'm grateful that I have families who are supporting, as well as my part-time job, you know. And at the same time, I also have a bit of side hustle. Even though I'm doing law, I'm also doing photography, videography. So those kind of things will sometimes pay as well. So, but then again, like entering my second semester, while I was doing, you know, I was doing this particular research of mine, and then suddenly, like, out of the blue, like there's this one grant, you know, this FRGS grant that even though it's not really like cut and paste, you know, interest of mine, but it somehow it relates. And since, you know, I say, why not? Let's just go for it. So suddenly I became a GRE. I became a part of that grant. And of course that allowance, you know, it is a bit, you know, it helps with offsetting a bit of that financial part. But at the same time, I'm a bit grateful that I have the topic of interest. Can I ask Sister Hayati, like, how important for you to have to do research on your own topic? I think it depends on how important that topic or that research interest for you. You know? Because sometimes I think like every person in here, regardless if you are already, you know, enrolled, you're already a second, third year PhD student, or you've just applied for master, every one of us have their own reason why they enrolled into master or why they're interested in masters. So I think like that's the biggest deciding factor for you to decide whether or not you want to go with interest or you want to go with grant. Because if you have, like for example, like I just said just now, I talk about my friend who's doing his PhD for the sake of his son. You know, if we ask him the question or not, if you're offered between the grant, but at the same time you have to let go of this topic, you know, would he do that? Would he let go of his research topic in order to be in a grant? I think that's something that you have to ask yourself about. Again, like if I know more details, sorry, this is just a habit, you know, law students, we always ask for facts, material facts. So if you have more details about that particular question, you know, feel free to unmute yourself, or maybe, you know, put it in a chat box or more. And I think like that's there's actually a point about Sister Shakira just now that I want to elaborate, but I already forgot about it actually. Perhaps later on it will come back to me. And I think like I have to add something as well, is that I stated about, you know, the cons of starting your master's immediately, starting your PG immediately, is that you run the risk of doing all of it alone. Basically, like, you know, like when these days this is just my observation, maybe the studies, maybe the statistics goes differently, but these days, you know, like undergraduates, you know, they view postgraduate studies as just a means of making you have a better pay, you know, or just it's all like related to your employment basically. But the thing is that how should I say this? Wait, I forgot what I said just now. But in essence, is that whenever they say like when a lot of the students, you know, have that opinion, you know, of course they tend to view master and postgrad as a side venture, you know, as something just for your own personal satisfaction, something like that. But I think like, to me, like, yes, I started this journey alone, but because I'm starting this journey, I want to do this, you know, I have interest. I'm currently doing a bit of research in IT law, so I like what I'm doing. And even though I ran the risk of doing it alone, I eventually found, you know, new people, you know, other people. And I think like the best thing is, because I'm still young, even though I'm still young, I can observe, I can learn from them. You know, these seniors, you know, these people who already spent a lot more time, because I have no particular way of doing research. I think like this is also another thing that you have to know. Like, if you are not from law, you actually have a huge advantage in doing your master's and PhD. Because if you're doing law, you know, our final year is fully procedural. We don't learn about doing this kind of FYP, you know, research paper, final paper, those kind of things. It doesn't exist for us. You know, our final year is more on preparing us to be lawyers rather than being researchers, or rather than being academicians, or rather than preparing us to, you know, do writing, you know, have our writing skills for academia. So when I started, I literally, you can say I'm a blank slate. I have no particular way of doing research. I have no particular tendency or preference on how I do my writing or how do I do my work. So what do you do? You learn from others. And I think like we learn for, like I learned from sisters. I learned from what Sister Shakira said just now. I also have a few friends, you know, PhD, master, both, who really helped in shaping the kind of approach that I have right now towards my studies. So that's, I think, a good thing. You know, you're more open, you're more curious. And at the end of the day, it means that you have more possibilities to go out there. Again, I hope that this session, I hope for all of you is that this session, please don't use this session or quote what I said, to belittle, those who didn't start their PG immediately, something like that. We're just here to tell you that if you decide to start your PG studies immediately, that's okay. If you decide to start your PG later, it's also okay. But then again, of course, my topic is more on that the former part, the part about immediately. Sister Hati said it's for my future career enhancement. I mean, like, if you're going for a future career enhancement, right, then your own topic or interest, it would be actually good, actually better. I think like sometimes there's this quite, if I would say, I remember earlier I was offered to join this grant. Of course, when I revealed that I've just finished my graduate, I got 2 offers, to join. One grant here and one grant in UiTM, and then as well as, of course, my own interest or my own topic. I have 2 topics actually earlier. So that grant don't really suit my interest, so I turned it down. The other one, even though I'm good at, but I'm not really interested in, so I turned it down. So at the end of the day, I go with what I'm interested, or I go with my passion. And I think like a lot of favors or a lot of preference today, people put on, the future, right? The thing is that as much as you feel like, this is for your future, just make sure that this is something that you can carry. I remember when I met my supervisor discussing about these 2 topics, right? One of the topic is really relevant. It's really like, if you do this topic, you will most likely be, you could like carry forward this topic to PhD as well. So that's the extent of it. But then again, upon further discussion with him, it's just that, okay, yeah, this is good for the future. But then again, you also have to see whether you are capable to carry out that research or that topic. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have enough materials, or if you don't have enough, if you don't have enough, how do I say, references for that particular matter, it will be a bit challenging for you to, at the end of the day, even complete that particular study. Okay, Sister Shakira, Sister Shakira. Someone unmute Sister Shakira, please.
Okay.
Okay.
So sorry. In addition to the question about career, about research on career advancement, I come from accounting and finance background, so my advice is basically on both areas. Okay, if like finance, we have corporate finance, we have public finance, and we have personal finance. So first thing first, you must. This is a normal questions when my friend asked me which subject should they take last time. So my question is that look back to your future career objective. What is your interest, say in accounting or in finance? What is your interest? If you want to do corporate finance, your research area should be corporate finance related, like governance, or you need to take courses like corporate finance courses, valuation, investment analysis, financial statement analysis. Those are related to corporate finance. Okay, if you are interested on public finance, maybe you may want to add up to financial economics, because it involves the government policy on financial. You may want to know the money management of government. And for personal financing, you may want to look at financial planning as your core courses. Or if you want to focus on Islamic finance, you focus more on Islamic finance area. Same goes to accounting as well. You may want to do accounting or Islamic accounting if you want to be a Sharia auditor, for example. Focus on Islamic accounting. So answering to your question, sister, whether you should follow the topic by your by your SV or your topic by interest, it back to you. What is your career objective? What you want to do, what you want to focus on, then you come back to the research area or subjects, or if you are taking courseworks, subjects that you are interested on. So you cannot simply take, this is my observation from my friends, my classmates last time, because they are juniors, not juniors lah, because they are much younger than me. So they just pick up any courses that they think they can score A. That is not supposed to do, because why? You need to have the skills and knowledge in specific areas so that you can focus later when you go into the industry, or you are in the later in your career, you can focus. If you take two courses corporate finance, 2 courses Islamic finance, 2 courses from public finance, it doesn't blend well with your future career development. So back to basic, what is your career objective, and then you can answer the rest. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sister Shakira. I think I agree with you as well on that, because if you don't have again, you're starting your master, of course you have a particular objective that you want to strive for, right? Especially if you already have a career, or you're already eyeing on a specific career, right? So if you don't organize your studies in accordance to achieving that particular objective, then that's the part where I say time is the cons. Yeah. Because again, remember, you did your basics. So you already do your basics in your undergraduate. Your postgraduate is supposed to be you specializing on something. So if your aim is specialization, and if your aim is to boost, let's say you want to boost yourself, right? Apart from you want to highlight yourself compared to others. So you cannot take things piecemeal, you cannot think one, just for the hope, okay, I'm good at everything. You cannot do that. You should be more specialized. Something I should say that. Oh, thank you so much, Sister Shakira. That's a good support there from a more PhD perspective, right there. I think I have 2 minutes left. If you have any other questions, please put in your chat. Concurrently, let's say you're already on campus, or you're going to start next semester, then let's meet up. Because at the end of the day, this is PG, postgraduate, and we even
let's have tea or coffee session. We are happy to have a session with the juniors then.
Yeah, I mean, just like how I was, during my first semester, lost in this jungle of knowledge, lost on to the procedures, or just all of these forms that I have to fill to do my masters. I think at the end of the day, I'm much fortunate, because I have a lot of seniors, a lot of friends who are just I think this is the thing, because in postgraduate, people always perceive we have our own journey. It deters us from actually communicating with each other. I think that's the biggest, something that should change. Yes, you are in your own journey, but it doesn't mean that you have to do it alone, or it doesn't mean that you don't have to have support from others. And I think, and this is as far as I've experienced my 1 year and a half, technically 1 year and a half of master studies in IIUM, I'll say every postgraduate students and every lecturers I've met as of now, and every staff I met as of now, really assisted me to go through these studies, to go through studies, inshallah, smoothly. I think that's all. It's already 12:40. Thank you so much, everyone, for being a part of this. Do we have a photo session? I'm not sure. I think we already settled the. Do you have a photo session right now? Oh, we have. Okay, let's have a photo session for a while. Everyone, can you please open your camera? Yeah. Let me remove the spotlight. Okay, who's going to be in charge of this? Oh, is it Sister Faria? So if you are going to start in campus, please don't when you come to CPS, inshallah, get our number, so we can hang out. Can everyone open their camera? You have a photo session. All right. Okay. Okay. Sister Faria in charge? Thank you. You're welcome, Sister Hayati. Looking forward to meet you on campus. Looking forward to meet you on campus next semester or this semester. Depends on how it goes. Are we finished? Are we settled? All right. Okay. So that's all. Thank you so much, everyone. And I hope that you're going to, after this, we have a break, a lunch and Zoho break until 2 p.m. So after this, we'll have a... so please join our afternoon session. We'll have a lot of breakout rooms for each kuliah, for each program. So at 2 p.m., what happens is that we have 3 breakout rooms, each for every kuliah and every program. Just now, I think that you guys already get the schedule. So join us this afternoon, and we'll see you guys later. Thank you so much, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.